Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Titan City Chronicles. My name is Alexander Thomas, and I will be your humble game master tonight. Good evening, this is the first ever stream put on by our group, the Untold Stories Project, and we just wanted to take a moment here at the beginning of the show to say thank you to everyone who has supported us thus far, whether in the form of advice, advertising, hard work, art creation, and for those of you who are our first followers. We appreciate all of you and hope to live up to your expectations this evening. Tonight's game will be the first of many streams taking place within the Titan City universe over the coming weeks. Titan City, for those of you who don't know, is the setting of my novel series. It is a fantasy noir meets golden age superhero setting where costume crime fighters are just as likely to tangle with colorful supervillains as they are monsters from folklore and mythology. We will be playing Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition, a phenomenal superhero role-playing game developed by the folks over at Ronin Publishing. And for anyone looking to play their own superhero games, now is the best time to sign up and support a great cause. From now until July 6th, the Mutants and Masterminds Basic Heroes Handbook is on sale for $20 in print and $15 in PDF. $10 of each sale will go to Black Lives Matter, Seattle, King County. Superheroes fight for justice and stand against oppression wherever it's found. I hope you will join us and Green Ronin in making the world a better place for everyone. And I want to make it clear here on our very first stream that Black Lives Matter to this group and that we don't want to live in a world without justice for all. Now onto the show. Our heroes tonight will be a group of misfits in the year 1922, trying to solve the disappearance of several local monsters. They will find themselves drawn into the underworld of this noir metropolis, facing off against mobsters, monsters, and the elite of Titan City. Will they find their answers, or end up just another of the lost and forgotten? We've got a wonderful group of heroes assembled here today. Say hi, wonderful heroes.
Hi, wonderful heroes.
But we've got a lot to get through tonight, so if you'd like to learn more about them and myself, please visit our website or social media for a brief bio. Needless to say, they are all great. And I completely forgot to start that recording. All right, so. Each of you have come by various means to Club Tartarus, known to some as the bar at the crossroads of reality, a place where anyone from anywhere and anywhen can stop for a drink or a dance if they know the way. Tonight, each of you has been summoned by the owner of this establishment, the mysterious Mr. Powers. Each of you owes him a favor for some past service rendered, and it seems he has called to collect. This is good news and bad news for you guys. The good news is if you survive his request, you won't be on the hook for him anymore. The bad news is seldom few survive repaying a debt to Mr. Powers. Whatever dread you were feeling about this exchange, however, doesn't seem to spread to the rest of the club. Hundreds of clocks, all set to different times, line the walls, alongside plaques inscribed with every year imaginable. Dozens of bodies are packed onto the dance floor, writhing to the pounding drums of a band fronted by a man in a white tank top with a thick black mustache. Even more souls are posted at the bar, downing drinks as fast as the handsome Scandinavian barback can pour them. Situated in cages high above the floor are beautiful men and women wearing outfits from throughout history, some familiar to you, others alien and all too revealing. Nestled around the perimeter of the room are alcoves filled with booths where patrons feast and drink while laughing and carousing. It is into this chaos we join our heroes as they wait for their mysterious benefactor to make his appearance. At this point, I want to ask each of you guys to tell us your name and describe your character and what you are doing to pass the time waiting for Mr. Powers, starting with Kevin.
Okay, so I'm out of my element in a number of ways here. Drew Sparks is hanging by the bar, sharing drinks, rubbing elbows with some attractive young ladies, sort of looking around, thinking in his head, you know, I probably could have come in my costume persona and stood out less than I am right now. So Drew has thick, wavy blonde hair, sort of the cocky attitude you would expect from a young man who thinks he's, you know, on his way to ruling the world, right? And a little bit of that arrogance. I'm sure he's making some of the fellas angry, as he's not shy about introducing himself to various ladies in the bar. You almost get a sense of, you know, go ahead, say something to me. He's got sort of this aggressive persona sort of attitude, like, come at me, bro. It's not being irregular. I'm sure he's, again, making waves without maybe realizing it.
Oh yeah, you are attracting a lot of attention, especially from the non-human denizens of the bar. You see, there's just a couple of Oni sort of giving you a stink eye, and they've been giving it to you since you made your way past the bouncer and the alley out front. But you have attracted some, friendly attention from a couple of the other people in the bar. The camera sort of pans over where we see Brayden, wherever you are in this chaos.
Yeah, Liam is nursing a glass of some kind of alcohol, probably bourbon or scotch or something along those lines, and is leaning back against one of the far walls, just kind of absorbing the situation with kind of a bemused, amused expression on his face. He's dressed in his full mobster regalia, black dress pants, black dress coat, the suspenders, the tie, the hat, the holster in the side, and he's just kind of enjoying the people watching.
Perfect. So yeah, you've been sort of just watching all of this unfold. The band on stage, there's sort of this call and response number that they're playing, and even though you haven't heard it before, everybody seems to know the words. Something like "We will rock you." You're not sure what any of that means. We swing around over to Brian, who has entered Club Tartarus. Please tell us a little bit about your character, Brian.
I'm Silver Volt, and I'm a Native American agent who works for the Jupiter Corporation. And I'm very pissed and sitting in a booth by myself because I owe a debt, and I am not really happy about that.
Nobody's happy about that. And then we swing through the chaos where we find emerging from her office in the back room of Club Tartarus is Minerva Votner. Andy, please tell us a little bit about Minerva.
So Minerva she opens the door to her office and slides out. She is wearing her high-waisted black pants and her cream-colored blouse, which she has her sleeves rolled up and pinned so that they don't get in the way. She kind of flicks the hair out of her eyes, looks out over the din of Club Tartarus, and makes her way down into the throng of revelers that be there. She nods to the bartender as she passes by and heads over towards a set of the booths and to a couple of patrons that she knows and is familiar with. She spends a few minutes chatting with them, just kind of making sure everything is all right with them before she starts glancing about, trying to find her bespectacled boss.
He is conspicuously absent. You look over in his regular booth where he's usually found, and he is not there. The booth itself is actually empty.
Head on back.
You haven't seen that happen ever in the whole time you've worked here.
So head back to the bar. You seen the boss?
Yeah, Eric sort of registers that you're there at the bar. He says, "Oh yeah, hey, the boss, he wanted you to meet with him in his office. He said that he needed you to gather a few people," and he kind of shuffles off some names. He's like, some guy named Liam, Silver Volt, and some guy calling himself Champion, if you can believe that.
With the first two, Minerva's face just kind of drops. He wants me to gather those two?
Yeah, he says he wants you to take him over to his booth and sit down. He'll be with you in a minute. Do you need a gin and tonic before you head on over to get those guys?
As if it would do anything, unfortunately. Did he explain who this champion guy was, what he looks like? Because there's a lot of people in the bar tonight.
Yeah, he's the guy who kind of looks like a dropout from the French Foreign Legion wearing a red mask. Khaki shirt, cargo pants, boots.
Wait, some sort of super running around town?
I guess. I haven't heard of him before, but if the boss wants to talk to him, he's probably, good for something at least.
All right. I really don't want to do this, but all right, well, guess I better go collect the vagrants.
Good luck. Let me know if you need a drink.
Will do. So she'll turn from the bar and kind of look out. She knows what Liam and Silvervolt look for, so she's going to try to pick them out of the crowd if she can.
Yeah, Minerva's got sort of a trained eye for the chaos that's here in the bar on any given night, so you're easily able to pick out the people you're looking for. And you can approach them in whatever order you deem necessary.
I'll start with Liam. She'll just kind of wander up, her heels clicking on the tile, probably barely audible over the cacophony that's being played throughout the room. And she'll kind of stand over him and say, didn't expect to see you in Club Tartarus.
Oi. What do you want?
Well, you're not here just because you want to be. I assume Mr. Powers asked for you to be?
I was busy trying to ignore that fact and nursing my scotch.
Yeah. Well, she'll hook her thumb at the table, the booth that's conspicuously absent. Meet me there. That's his usual table. He'll be along shortly.
Crazy place he's got.
You haven't seen the half of it.
Oh boy. And I'll make my way through the crowd and try to keep any flying elbows or revelers from knocking my drink out of my hand.
Gotcha. And I guess we'll see Silvervolt next. Karasawa?
Ma'am?
Are you here for Mr. Powers as well?
I think Mr. Powers wanted me here.
She does the same thing where she hooks her thumb at his table. Seems he's collecting a few of us for something tonight. I've got one more to find, but if you'll meet me there, he'll be along shortly, I would imagine.
Same room as last time?
No, the table over there.
Ugh. I'll be there in a minute. And I'm going to go to the bar and grab a drink and then head over there.
Awesome. So Minerva, looking around, you don't see anyone who matches Eric's description, but you do see a familiar face from back at Sacred Heart University. Drew Sparks is the man's name. You remember him being younger than you, sort of a wrestler, sort of a troublemaker. He's here in a tux tonight.
I will arch an eyebrow when I see that and kind of walk over. Oh, Mr. Sparks, if I remember.
Hey, Legs, how you doing? Martini?
Legs.
Yep, you are exactly how I remember my sister talking about you.
Oh, did I know your sister?
I
won't admit to anything until I know what she said.
Well, based on your crass response to my walking over, everything she said is about what I expected. Exactly what brings you to Club Tartarus?
Well, I got some business to take care of.
Oh, do you now?
What brings you to Club Tartarus?
I work here.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I guess then I'm looking for your boss, Mr. Powers.
Oh, this is not going to end well for me, I can tell. She turns and points at the table where Liam and Silverbolt are making their way. That's his booth. Take your drink. Meet me there in a couple of minutes.
You
Should
got
be
it.
along shortly. And I'd be careful how you run your mouth around him.
You wound me. But we'll patch it up later. So I'll take my martini glass and give her a toast and head over to the table. Strutting, of course, because, that's how I roll.
I turn to Eric. I head back to the bar. I go to Eric. I go, the gentleman in the tux, make sure it's the lower shelf stuff.
Yeah, you got it.
That's dirty pool.
Can I charge him for the topper stuff?
I mean, you can charge him for it, but I don't know what Mr. Powers is going to say to it.
Hey, look, I mean, these kids who grow up with Prohibition don't know any better anyway, right?
Well, that one, if the stories I've heard are true, he's a glory seeker. We don't need him all hopped up on the good stuff.
Keep a lookout for him. No, we don't need anybody hopped up in here tonight.
How many Romans do we have tonight?
No Romans tonight. All they're calling themselves hippies.
What's a hippie?
I don't know. I figure all humans have hips, right?
No. Yes. She gives him that kind of askew glance. I better go see what the boss wants.
Yeah, you got it. And is everybody assembling over at the booth?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you do see this booth does have room, it looks like, for probably 10, 15 people. It's a very large private booth that's usually roped off, and only Mr. Powers and his most esteemed guests are allowed to sit here. It is completely vacant at this time, though. Who's sort of sitting where?
Is it a circular booth or is it two sides? Like,
It's a semicircular booth built into the wall. So there's a row of seats that go into the wall, and there's a vacant space out front where usually the waitress or the bartender will come over and fill their drinks.
well, I'll plop down and slide into the back.
Liam I'll go on the left side and kind of just stretch out and put my arms over the back of the seat.
Awesome. So everybody sort of gathers. You guys sit there for a few minutes. Sort of, is it an awkward silence, or are you guys having small talk?
Minerva's not saying anything. She's just kind of glancing back and forth between Liam, Silverbolt, and Drew, and wondering to herself what in the world is going on.
So when Mr. Powers asked me to come down here, I didn't know we were having a party. So what's happening here?
You must have heard the rumors.
There's a lot of rumors in a place like Titan City. I mean, could you be a little more specific?
About the revelry that happens in Club Tartarus.
Well, to be honest, the stories really don't do it justice, but yeah.
Well, if you've already heard them, then you have a pretty good idea.
I've always heard that Mr. Powers is a man not to be trifled with.
You should remember that from last time.
Yep. Takes a long drink of his scotch.
So as you guys are sort of sitting, exchanging, tense glances with each other, the mustachioed singer has placed himself at a piano on stage, and the crowd is transfixed by the song he's playing, some kind of rhapsody. Before you have the chance to hear too much of that, though, the booth you're sitting in begins to vibrate and sink into the ground. The falsetto voice and the hum of the bar slowly dissipate as you descend through earth and stone, coming to rest in a dark chamber more akin to a medieval dungeon than a cellar. Great stone columns and shattered chains line the wall. A bricked-up window sits on the opposite end, along with a mahogany desk upon which leans Mr. Powers. He's dressed in his usual purple velvet smoking jacket. There's tufts of white hair poking out of his black scalp like so many skeletal hands grasping for freedom. He smiles at you, teeth gleaming white in the low light. He wears sunglasses with ruby lenses, but you can feel his eyes on you. Standing at the bricked-up window is another gentleman, one you almost didn't see. His skin is porcelain white, and he wears a black vest and cravat. Everything about him, from the authority in his stance to the symmetry of his shoelaces, suggests order. But there's something about his angular features that calls out predator in the instinctual parts of your brain. Mr. Powers gestures to the chairs before his desk and says, "Thank you for agreeing to meet with me on such short notice. And thank you, Miss Vauntner, for collecting our guests. Can I offer any of you a refreshment?"
Sure.
Liam looks at the drink in his hand and downs it. Yes. Yes, please.
Perfect. I like a man who can drink. Taking a look around the office, other than the desk, the columns, and the chains, it is very bare. There's a small table next to the desk with a decanter of brandy and a few crystal glasses, and a pair of black leather journals with yellowed pages in plain view on the desk. He pours drinks and ushers you all forward to take a seat in these sort of plush chairs that sit in front of his desk. He passes the drinks out to you guys, takes a sip from his own, and sits across from you. Nothing like a good glass of brandy to warm the bones before a discussion. That's a bottle of cognac from '68, aged 20 years, I understand. Relish it, my friends.
Minerva just sighs and looks at him.
A question just dies on Liam's lips.
Mr. Powers takes a couple more sips, and the man at the far end approaches, his footsteps making no sound as he moves. Even in the low light, you can see his piercing blue eyes studying you, Drew and Liam. His eyes are specifically fixed on the two of you. Mr. Powers runs a weathered hand over his mostly bald head. He says, "I suppose I should fill all of you in as to why you are here. As some of you may know, monsters have been going missing in Titan City. First, a minotaur named Vinan Wolfheart, a butcher who was doing everything right according to the Department of Monster Affairs when it came to coexisting. Next to Yaogwai, Yon Shun, someone less apt to follow the DMA's rules. And most recently, the other man interrupts, a vampire, one of my children, Serena Wagner." Mr. Powers takes the interruption in stride and says, "Nice of you to introduce yourself, Florian." And the man sort of gets this aghast look on his face, like, "Oh, maybe I did speak out of turn." He says, "Apologies. Thank you for your taking an interest in this unfortunate happening. It's not often that humans take an interest in our struggles. My name is Florian Boudon. I am the Vampire King of Parkhurst. Titan City. Apologies for the anachronism. It deeply saddens me when one of my kind is lost. A return to death after glimpsing immortality, well, I cannot think of a greater tragedy. Serena was special to me. One of my children who did her best to follow the example I've set for vampires of this city."
She was making great strides, unfortunately.
You knew her.
I did. She spent time here. We had many conversations as I tried to help acclimate.
Acclimate.
Yes.
Drew is sipping the brandy a little faster as this conversation is quickly getting weird.
He says, "I appreciate
Maybe going for a refill."
Everybody's going to be smashed before they go out to the investigation.
Minerva
Says-
looks over. It looks at Florian, looks at Mr. Powers. I don't mean to interrupt this, but I understand asking me, but couldn't we have handled this within the community? You're asking for outside help?
Mr. Powers kind of leans back, and he says, well, I wanted it handled. I don't believe any of the monsters I would have asked could have handled this discreetly. As you know, Minerva, there is sort of a boiling happening in our community between the people who believe that we should not bind ourselves to the laws of the DMA and those who believe that we should coexist by any means necessary.
And so you're pulling in a member of the Kelly gang, a scientist from Jupiter Labs, both of which who were hunting a monster not all that long ago in our city, and a headstrong boy who is playing at being a superhero.
To be fair,
Are there no secrets kept in this place?
to be fair,
You're wearing a cloth over your eyes. You can't keep your own.
Actually, I'm not right now.
Not right now, he's not.
I did intend on giving that monster back.
Well, Minerva, it is not really your place to question my methodology.
No.
Friendly reminder. But in the interest of providing some kind of explanation for my thinking, Mr. Liam here is an expert in hunting monsters. And we have missing monsters in play. Mr. Silver Volt, he is adept at studying magic and technology to find the secrets that lie within. So he may best be able to get us access into places where technology is being used improperly on monsters. And I just like Drew's spirit.
Sort of give Minerva a wink and a smile, remembering her advice about watching what I say.
Oh, it's fine, boss. You know, part of the reason you keep me around is my honesty, so...
I appreciate you speaking your mind. I do.
It couldn't silence me anyway.
Well, as Minerva no doubt informed all of you just now, I am tasking all of you with uncovering just who is responsible for these Mr. Monsters, bringing an end to their operation quietly, and rescuing any of my citizens who may yet draw breath. Future of my kind in this city depends on this being handled with the utmost discretion. He kind of gives a knowing look at Karawasi and Drew. As for Leeds, we're to begin your investigation. While some people think the Butcher of Bayside may have escalated his killings to monsters, but I'd be very surprised if a man of his impulses could pull this off. Helpless socialites are a far cry from minotaurs, after all. Others are pointing the finger at various gangs who are trying to pull monsters into their arsenals. He gives Liam sort of a knowing look. However, Florian has something of a lead for you to begin the search. How exciting. And Florian pipes up. He says, yes, as Serena's sire, I have certain abilities that allow me to keep track of her. My blood knows my blood, so to speak. For the last few weeks, I haven't felt any of Serena's presence. No pain, no fear, no hunger, nothing. But tonight, I felt her. Only for a moment. She was in danger, and her location was surprising, to say the least. I sensed her in the alley behind the Department of Monsters Affairs branch, here in the Olympus district. It was just a flash of her blood crying out to mine, but I heard it. I would suggest you begin your inquiry down there at the DMA. Mr. Powers smiles and takes another sip from his brandy and says, I would suggest the same. Fortunately, they shouldn't give 4 humans too much trouble this time of night. Oh, and gentlemen, one more thing. Minerva will be traveling along with you as my liaison for this investigation. Anything she says, assume it is spoken with my authority, and understand that ignoring that authority comes with comparable consequences. Any questions?
Minerva looks surprised at that.
Florian, you said your blood? You sensed her blood?
Yes. When a vampire creates another vampire, he fills that person with his blood, or her blood. So the higher vampires always know where the lesser vampires are. But I haven't been able to sense Serena, and that is troubling, to say the least.
Would you describe this more as a spiritual or a physical attraction?
Physical, I would say.
Okay. I'm going to pull out a knife from my coat. And I'm going to pull out an empty flask, and I'm going to ask him to fill it up a little bit.
That is a big request to make of a vampire, young man. Please make a persuasion check.
I am terrible at those, probably. I mean, depends how much you want to find your daughter.
I'll give you a +2 for throwing that stinger on you.
I have 16.
16. So Florian, he gives you a tense look for a moment. He says, I will only give you a little. And do not take it to your bosses. And he takes the knife from you and draws it across his skin. And you see him sort of close his eyes and concentrate, and the scratch he opens up begins to drip just a couple of drops of blood. And he'll fill it into the vial for you.
Cross my heart, I won't give it to my boss.
But he will. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything else you want to extract from Florian or Mr. Powers before you head on your merry way?
Serena, was she... I don't remember. Was she registered yet with the department?
She was. She was registered with the department.
All right.
Florian will sort of jump in and he'll say, yes, Serena was a believer of my philosophy, sort of the leadership I've given our people in these times. You see, vampires believe themselves to be predators, especially those who have not been tempered by wisdom. We are not predators, we are parasites. If humanity banded together for the common cause of our extinction, there would be no battle. Sure, hundreds of humans might perish, but you're too numerous and too well armed for us to win such a conflict. Even if we did, who would we feed upon? No, Serena and many of the vampires who followed me, I've encouraged them to acquiesce to the requests of the DMA. Feed only on animals or form consensual relationships with humans who give willingly.
I know there are a few things in the city that might frighten a vampire, but do you know of anything in particular that she would have been scared of? It didn't come up in any of our conversations.
Well, the only things I can think of that would scare a vampire in a dark alley on a dark night. Wizard, maybe? Magic user of some kind? A crowd of humans with a wooden stake and holy water?
I really hope we're not dealing with a wizard.
You and me both.
When was the last time you guys saw her?
It was a few weeks ago. She was in the club. We had our session. After our last encounter, Eric told me that she hadn't been seen for a while.
I have not been able to detect her blood in 4 weeks now.
It's a long time.
What about the Minotaur? When was the last time anybody saw him?
Well, the Minotaur, he went missing about 6 weeks ago.
And these folks are missing. We don't necessarily know that there's anything permanent that's happened to them.
We're not sure. My not being able to feel Serena's blood convinced me that she was dead, because that is the only time I have ever not felt one of my children before.
But since you got a glimpse of her tonight, that's obviously not the case.
Yes.
At least
something
for
is
Serena.
suppressing my ability to detect her.
And Mr. Mogwai or Yun?
Yagwai? Yeah. He has been missing for about 5 weeks. So 6, 5, 4. One monster a week and then nothing for weeks.
Was Shen involved with anybody that we know of?
I believe he was an advocate of Festima, the other third of the triumvirate who rules over the monster community, the Gorgon. She believes in violent revolution against the humans. I understand her rage, but it is folly.
Everybody's got their own perspective.
Well, there's a reason we didn't invite her here for this conversation.
Liam's just kind of sheepishly taking sips of his drink, kind of shrinking into his chair.
Well, nobody else has anything. I suppose we should get back above and grab our things so that we can go find Serena, hopefully.
Perfect.
What time is it?
It's right around midnight.
So then we're square after this, Powers, right?
Yes, of course. As soon as all of you are able to uncover the location of these missing monsters or confirm their deaths, you are free of your debt to me.
Good to know.
You are, of course, still welcome to patron Club Tartarus, and if you ever need anything warranting a favor in the future, please, by all means, come and ask.
Have to wait and see how this turns out before I make any commitments, but thanks for the offer.
Do you want to know how it winds up for you?
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. I'm not allowed to tell you.
Oh, good. He's got a sense of humor now.
Yeah,
Well,
he was
he's got a
talking
sense of
something
humor.
about you having a red shirt. I didn't get the reference.
Minerva will make her way back to the booth.
Oh, I guess we gotta sit in the spooky car to get back where we're supposed to be. Okay, I'll climb back into the booth as well.
Back into the spooky car.
Minerva's last name was said down here, right?
Vauntner.
Yes.
Does that ring any bells?
Depends on how much you paid attention to your classmates.
Always a tenuous thing, but okay.
I was homeschooled.
So we'll head back up to the bar. Minerva will head over to Eric and basically tell him to get one of the Onis to bring a car around as we're heading out.
I got a car. Just give me 10 minutes.
Oh boy.
10 minutes to start it or 10 minutes to find your keys?
You hear that? He's got a car.
I've got a car.
But does he have a license?
Okay, I'm 22, not 14.
Well, raise your left hand.
Well, look, if you need me to drive, boyo, I can drive.
I can drive. It's good.
If you say so.
All right.
Yeah, sure. So, Champion, how do you collect your car?
Well, I assume it's parked somewhere nearby. That's how I got here.
Yeah.
So I will shuffle off. Hopefully, it's in a darker side of the parking lot, do my quick change artist routine at the back, hop in the car, and pull up to the front of Club Tartarus.
What does the car look like?
Well, I imagine 1920s Roadster coupe is looking pretty aerodynamic and stylish. Darker colors, of course. We want it to blend in at night.
Yeah, nothing says blend in like the customized supercar that nobody else has.
Shh, don't ruin the tropes. Don't ruin the tropes.
Minerva will collect her coat and hat and step out and kind of wait to see this supercar pull over.
Yeah, I will leave the rifle in the trunk, but I will
What a
stash the
gentleman.
pistol in my purse and pull up. I assume they're waiting out front by the time I get there, but
I think it's a reasonable assumption. Are you guys waiting
Okay.
out front?
Yeah.
Now, Minerva, what are our plans after we leave the club?
I would say we head down to the DMA, we check out that alley and see what we can discern. Do you, she looks him in the eye, have any idea, with just what we've been told, what could keep a vampire from sensing one of their own? Any strange artifact or technology similar to what we saw last time?
I'm going to deflect. Well, Liam should be able to tell you that. You don't need a genius.
I think you're a point.
But-
Is Liam able to tell?
Give me an expertise magic check. Or give me an expertise monsters check. Monsters check.
I'll start
Find
yelling.
it on the sheet. Oh, it's on the other side. Expertise. Monster. Did that actually roll? No, it didn't.
You did not roll. Oh, that's your skill mastery. You clicked on your
Oh.
advantage.
I'm sorry.
If you head over to the main page, there's stats and skills that should be in the right-hand column.
How
There
far
it
away
is.
is that alley?
It's in the same district of town, so it's only about a 5 or 10 minute drive.
Okay.
That is
Well,
a 21. Sorry.
21, awesome. So with the 21, Liam, you sort of rack your brain about it for a little bit, thinking of ways to prevent a vampire from being able to sense one of its own kind, which you weren't really sure that that was a power they had. You thought maybe it was something they could do, but having confirmation of that is nice. The only ways that you would think would be possible would be through magic. Some way with possibly exposing them to a magical item that creates an anti-magic field, but something that is able to generate anti-magic or nullify magic abilities would be the only thing you could think of. Maybe a necklace that was made, maybe a building itself is shielded against it, but practically you're not sure how you would go about doing it.
Gotcha. Do we know if the DMA is shielded against magic?
You do not.
Okay. Well, the bad news is it is definitely magic of some variety.
You can't be more specific than that.
Told you didn't need a genius. I'm here. Since I can move faster than 20 miles an hour, I will rendezvous with you at the alley. And I want to go see Ferguson real quick.
Perfect. So everybody loads up into the champion mobile? Champion coupe? What are we
Champion
calling
coupe.
it? Champion coupe.
Pair of stylized double C's on the door.
Stylized double C's on the door. Awesome.
You know,
Door
there's a
that
little
duct
magnet
tape
that covers
on.
them when I'm undercover.
I'm going to deal everybody a hero point just for the great role playing you guys have been doing. Perfect.
I honestly, I figured with a car nice as this that You'd have a driver.
I can drive. It's all good.
But how long have you been driving? Like a year, 6 months?
Last week.
About 4 years. Thanks for asking. I did change out of the tux since you saw me last. It's my little Drew scoop. Oh, Godless Lawyer is back in action, and he's here with both barrels. That's great.
So yeah, you guys load up. There's an unseasonable chill in the sky for a summer night. Moving out into the street, you guys load up into the Champion Coupe. You find yourselves in the Olympus District, which is downtown Titan City. Up the road, you can see the glittering sign of the Jupiter Enterprises building towering over the skyline, its statue of the Titan Atlas holding a dark steel earth aloft. Only a few cars wind their way through the misty streets around you, as the car heads off towards the DMA, and Silver Volt heads off to the Jupiter Enterprises building that he works in. Silver Volt, you fly a lot faster than the car can drive, so you make your way easily to the lab. You take yourself down to the sub-level, and you can see that Ferguson is hard at work tonight on some kind of strange bracelet.
Interesting. Hey, Ferguson, you awake?
What do you mean, am I awake? Of course I'm awake.
Just checking. Sometimes you sleep work.
Oh, sleepwalking. Is that what we're calling it now? Is that a psychological condition?
I mean, we all know you don't get overtime your salary.
Did you come down here for a reason or just to bust my balls?
Why don't you come into my office real quick?
This is a conversation we can't have out here because coming to my office real quick never ends well for the person coming into the office. It's like, I need to talk for you for a second, or can I ask you a question? Just all real bad beginnings to a conversation.
Ferguson, I promise we're not breaking up. Just get in the office.
All right, deal. Fine, whatever. Now, what does your office look like, Karawasi?
It's just nice wood, nice, solid, like that stereotypical like father's den in the 1950s. Just high quality, just big old bison on the wall.
Big old bison on the wall. He kind of sits down nervously across from you, and he's like, "What's up?"
I've got a surprise for you.
All right.
And I reach in my pocket and I pull out the flask of the blood.
What, you got a boo-boo I need to kiss or something?
Not exactly. So here's an interesting fact. Apparently, vampires can sense their spawn through their blood. It's a physical attraction.
Oh.
So if you find a way to amplify this, it's like a vampire radar.
All right, I can look into making a vampire radar for you if that's something of interest to you.
And it's also the Vampire King's blood. So I need you to be
What?
Yeah. I need you to be really careful with this, off the books, because we might have access to every vampire in this city.
How did you get the blood of the Vampire King of Titan City?
Just asked.
What? Oh my god. So are you really a great scientist, or are you just like a lucky dude? Don't answer that question. Don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Hey, I'm the one with sick leave, so.
Yeah, leave the blood here. I'll take a look at it and see what I can do.
Amber Ferguson, off the books.
Yeah, I won't let the boss know I've got vampire blood down here in the lab.
Hey, if it works out, it might be your promotion.
It's open. And he'll take the vial from you, and he sort of puts it in a desk drawer, and he says, "I'll start thinking about how best to accomplish that. I got to finish what I'm working on in there for Mr. Moon, and I'll get back to I'll get back to this. Come back in a couple of days. I'll see if I got something for you.
No problem. And I'll go ahead, go to the alley, zip on by.
Cool. You guys zip on over to the alley. We've got our first map.
Oh.
So you guys make your way over to the DMA.
Remember, guys, all you got to do is ask. You'll get so many things in life.
Don't forget, guys, you can drag your tokens out onto the battle map at any time.
Oh my God, there's a pug.
There are lots of dogs out.
Where should we place ourselves on the map?
You guys are coming from over on the right, but you are heading over to here. This is the alley in question, so you guys can go ahead. The champion Coop can park like there and head over.
Okay.
So you guys can get out and head over to the alley. The journey to the DMA. Oh, sorry.
We drag our name to make a token come over?
Yep. Drag your name onto wherever you want it to be on the map, and it should just pop up.
I'm gonna look at Drew as we're pulling through the city in this marked up, souped up car, and all the civilians kind of wandering out. Mr. Powers did say discreet. Remember?
I'm the soul of discretion. Don't you worry.
The flashy double C's on the side of this vehicle say
Look,
otherwise.
it's all about misdirection. Don't worry. It's all under control. My name is not dragging over from the character sheet. Which tab?
I'll just drag you out.
Oh.
Oh, it looks like I've got to give you guys control of it. I will fix that in post.
It's all good here, so.
All right, so sure enough, the journey over to the DMA office is uneventful. You pass a handful of other cars and only a few people pass along the sidewalks, mostly flappers and their escorts stumbling out of speakeasies after closing time from the looks of them. You park the Champion Coupe and find yourselves in front of the Department of Monsters Affairs branch office, a squat stone building with delusions of grandeur. There are no windows, but a row of columns atop a flight of stairs hold an overhang beneath which are the frosted glass doors that lead into the place. Propaganda posters of all description are displayed along the far walls, including one that catches your attention, which I will share here in the window and describe for the folks at home. It kind of pops up. You guys see it plastered on the wall, and it depicts a pair of eyes casting beams of light down from the darkness, causing shadowy figures to flee. It reads, "The American dream doesn't come from the shadows. Report to your local DMA office today to live the American way." The alley that Florian mentioned is tucked between the DMA office and what appears to be an accounting firm labeled Farkas & Sons Bookkeeping. It's fairly typical as far as alley goes. A fire escape heads up to the roof of the DMA on the one side, and but you do notice down by the dumpster it widens a bit into a sort of concrete and pavement clearing.
And I don't know that we want to necessarily park that close to where we're actually going. Maybe in an alley down around and we can sort of head this way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Magic, I think.
Yes. So Minerva will kind of survey the alleys, take a look up the columns and at the frosted doors of the DMA, and kind of pull her coat a little closer around her shoulders. All right, let's see what we can find. I don't want to be here any longer than we need to.
That I can agree on. And
Yeah.
Liam's going to go ahead and light up his cigar.
That thing again?
Well, I prefer to be in one piece at the end of all this.
All right. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Minerva will work her way down into the alley, trying to avoid the any puddles or refuse that is strewn about in it.
Yeah, that's a good call. The alleys in this city are not exactly the cleanest alleys in the world.
Is there a fair amount of people out at this time? Like you've got tokens on the board. Are there people out walking around?
Yeah, it looks like mostly people leaving speakeasies around closing time.
All right.
Folks who are sort of keeping to themselves. There's a couple people walking their dogs out, but it's pretty late at night, so there's not many people about.
Okay.
You would normally expect a sidewalk in the Olympus district to almost be impassable with how many people live in town.
Okay.
During the day, I should say. Where did Karawasi go?
I don't know if I'm here yet.
Oh, you're here. Yeah, you should.
There we go.
Awesome.
And where'd you get off to then?
I mean, I have other appointments.
At midnight?
I mean, are you keeping my calendar? There's only one secretary here.
I am not a secretary.
Minerva, I'm going to give you a hero point for old-timey 1920s sexism.
Yeah.
And I don't get that point because applying that sexism is wrong.
It's very wrong. Oh, Silvervolt's already flown the coop, somebody said in chat. Goth the Slayer said in chat.
So I'm gonna start checking. Is this a dumpster? Is that accurate to?
It is a dumpster. Yes.
That is a trash can. Yes, Liam.
That's Liam's gonna go over and start checking the dumpster. You know, because if I was gonna kill somebody and you know, I wanted to get rid of the body, that's the first place that I would go.
God bless the Irish.
If you were trying to kill a vampire, wouldn't you want the body for something? Mr. Monster Hunter.
You old people are starting to scare me with your crazy talk.
What, Drew? You're a little shaken by the events of the evening thus far?
No, just your kind of weird talk about using bodies and dead people and vampires. You're all so casual about it. That's weird.
Be careful, Minerva. You don't want to make his mascara run. Try to keep the talk down.
Ooh.
Say, do you have another appointment soon? I'm kind of hoping. No.
I can't take you to the dentist. You're gonna have to
No,
drive yourself.
not me.
So
I don't think you could afford me.
So as you guys make your way down the alley, you notice that the mist and fog of the street sort of swirls at your feet, rising to about shin level. The summer chill has dropped to a cold caress, and the smell of French perfume dances in the air, mixing with fresh soil. There are eyes on you, hungry eyes. Looking atop the nearby building, you see the glassy reflection of two of those eyes staring back at you. The woman laughs to herself, a predatory, self-congratulatory laugh that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. The mist pulls back around the reflective eyes, revealing a striking young woman in a low-hanging white shirt with a high-waisted black skirt. Short raven hair frames her marble white skin, and her red lipstick shines from the shadows almost as brightly as her blue eyes. She looks to the adjoining rooftops, and you see two more vampires. One, a beautiful black woman with natural hair dressed in a pressed nurse's outfit. The other, a shirtless white man with faded tattoos on his upper biceps and blonde hair pulled back into a tight ponytail. Their fangs sparkle in the moonlight. The leader calls down to you, her breathy voice twinkling with a French accent that I'm not going to do because I don't have a French accent in my repertoire. I was wondering who Florian would send to check on his little Serena. I wonder if the four of you taste better than DMA agents. Marcel, Nadine, what do you say we find out? Go ahead and roll for initiative, guys. And click on your token before you roll for initiative, so it sends it to the terminal with them.
Here we go.
First combat of this series.
All right. Minerva has a 13 on her initiative.
Liam got an 8.
Drat.
Yeah.
Wasted a nat 20.
Is that a V for vampire?
It is a V for vampire.
Oh.
I guess
They're
it's better
French
than,
vampires.
it's almost as good as a V for Vendetta.
Well, all of the art used on our show is either commissioned from artists or taken from pixabay.com, which is a great wealth of royalty-free art that is available for anyone to use. Just make sure you head to the website and say thanks to the artist. And for some of the stuff, I had to get creative and use just generic letters for the tokens. That's why I made an effort to describe what Marcel and Nadine look like for you guys.
This late night
Appreciate
killing
it.
is brought to you by the letter V.
So I say before we jump into this combat, we go ahead and take our quick 5-minute break.
Sounds good.
All right.
Julio?
Okay.
So thank you everybody who's been following with us this whole time. Really excited to be bringing Titan City Chronicles to you live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
We'll be right back. Come back and join us.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us tonight here in Titan City, our first ever stream. So I'm real excited to see, people here enjoying the story with us, and I'm really excited to start eating all of the characters here with my vampire minions.
Dude.
Godless Lawyer had lots of vampire jokes. So, on the first round of combat, Eleanor Dubois, the vampire on top of the roof, she raises her hands and the mist and the fog begins to swirl and coalesce around her, and you can hear a couple of wolves howling against the night sky, and 2 enormous swarms of bats explode into the world from nothing.
Liam looks down at his cigar and is like, why don't you do that?
There is no answer from the cigar. But it would have been scary if there was. So that's her standard action. She goes ahead and she summons those minions, and she is going to stay on top of the building where she's at for right now. The vampires with her, Marcel and Nadine. Nadine is going to jump down here, and she's going to hiss and emerge next to Champion.
Oh.
She says, "Oh, you smell nice. I wonder if you taste better." And she's going to try and grab you. With a 10 to hit, so that's probably not going to work.
Correct.
So she comes in, she's over-eager. You're easily able to sort of push her aside as she comes up at you, still lunging, her eyes glowing in the darkness, like cat's eyes. The other vampire, Marcel, he's going to leap down from the fire escape, and he charges up here, and he's going to try and rake his claws against Liam. With a natural 20 to hit.
Ooh.
He's not a minion, so he can crit you.
Delicious.
Oh boy.
So please give me a toughness save versus DC 30. DC 30.
All right, here comes that toughness save.
Breakfast of
And that's a
champions.
12.
I've got bad news if you take a 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off and let's go ahead and use that first hero point of the night.
Awesome. So Fun Mutants and Masterminds tip, everybody. Hero points are the tools the players have to affect the narrative for the better for themselves. In this case, Liam is going to re-roll his toughness save.
So that got me a 10, and that.
Well, you should roll toughness instead of fortitude. I bet you it'd be
Oh,
higher.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm not paid to read. I'll just throw that out there.
Boom!
Wait, you're getting paid?
None of us are getting paid.
That is a natural 20, so a 30 total.
Cool. That is enough to avoid getting disemboweled by this vampire. What happens, Liam?
Takes a drag of his cigar as the vampire runs up, and just the vampire goes to rake its claws through where Liam was standing, and it's just smoke, and he's standing just about a foot away.
Perfect. So yeah, Marcel kind of comes in. He's shirtless, glistening in the moonlight, and he looks at you, just wondering what the heck happened that just moved his attack out of the way. We come to the mighty champion. What would you like to do?
All right, so she's feeling grabby, so sort of drop into a fighting stance. And I mean, I've seen the elements of the supernatural, so the kid gloves are off. I will take a swing and attempt to then, after hitting, attempt to use fast grab. So
Yeah, I believe in you.
all right, so first, the fisticuffs.
18's not going to hit. Or 15. Sorry, 15's not going to hit.
Okay, so the punch sort of goes a little wide. Maybe he's thinking, oh, it's not really kosher to be punching a girl, even if she is a monster, but she's supernaturally fast, and so she sort of rolls out of the way of that hit.
Awesome. The bat swarms, since they were summoned this turn, they don't get to go until next turn. So, Karawasi, Silvervolt, your turn.
Now, Liam, you're just Irish, right?
Just Irish. That hurts.
I mean, I don't know what else would I be.
Okay, sounds like you're human to me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fly up to the fire escape against one of the buildings, and I'm gonna use move object to Obi-Wan Liam into the high ground with his gun.
Awesome. Liam, are you going to resist him moving you as an object?
No.
Cool. So, where would you like to move him, Karawasi?
I saw what he could do to that boat.
Just a fire escape, maybe 10, 20 feet up. That way he's got angles to shoot from.
Will you click on which fire escape you're going to set him on?
Oh, this is a fire escape, right?
Yeah, those bad boys are fire escapes.
Ah, I thought. Okay. Yeah. Just come up here with me, Liam. Does that count as my move action and standard, or just a move?
It does, but you have move by action, I believe, so you are able to keep moving after your standard action if you want to.
Okay. I'm gonna go up another rung higher than him.
Cool.
And then I'll just ready my aim for next time.
Perfect. Wolves are in the same boat as the bats, so we go to Minerva.
Minerva will look at the vampire that's attempted to rake his claws through Liam. She'll kind of slowly work her way forwards to him. What did you guys do with Serena?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I will. Well, let's see if we can't do something about that wagging tongue of yours, and she will
He's like
attempt.
Toad from the X-Men.
She will attempt. She will attempt to punch him.
That's fair. I would have punched him too.
Yes. All right, with a nope, with a mighty 11.
Awesome. Yeah, with a natural one, that's not quite going to connect.
Nope.
What happens?
Minerva is unnerved by the wagging of the tongue and just not quite yet willing to unleash her full self, so she kind of pulls the punch at the last second.
Awesome. Liam, you are on the fire escape.
Liam, I'm feeling like this is a moment where we're about to throw discretion out the window, anyways. So I actually, you know what? I will start off with I'm going to try to fascinate, intimidate this vampire down here. Um,
Cool.
uh, with the phrase, I think you should recognize me. I have a bit of a reputation amongst your kind, and I doubt you'd like the skills that I can apply upon your person.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll an intimidation check for me.
Okay, intimidation. That's a 7.
Yeah, so you go to intimidate this vampire. He looks up and he sees that Eleanor is still here, and he is basically just blows off you're trying to fascinate him by how scary you are. Would you like to take a move action?
Yeah, does this fire escape go all the way up to the roof, or
It does go all
it
the way up
stop?
to the roof.
Then I'll go up to the roof.
Yeah, you've got enough movement to get up there beside Karawasi. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I'll
Cool.
get up there and get a view of the bats and Eleanor.
She looks over at you and she kind of waggles her fingers at you. When she
I'll
waggles
wave
her
back.
fingers at you, she's going to jump across that space and land beside you.
No, wait, that wasn't an invitation.
She says, "Come now, that's very nice of you to try to get my attention and try not to start a fight with that big bad vampire down there." And she's going to whammy you with her beguiling gaze. Does a 23 hit your dodge?
Yes, it does.
Please give me a will save. You're looking for an 18.
Oh boy.
Liam, I pulled you right out so you could jump back in, huh? Ooh, spicy.
Another nat 20 for 28 total.
So wow, yeah, with a 28 will save, you see the lenses shift in her eyes, and you're able to just get out of the way of whatever psychic mumbo jumbo she was about to put on you.
Look, honestly, I've seen prettier dames than you.
Her face scrunches into an angry, ugly snarl. Very Buffy vampire.
Point proven.
All right.
Like.
So Nadine is again going to try and this time she's just going to try and claw Champion. Ooh, with a 24 to hit your parry.
Yes.
Looking for a DC 23 toughness save, please. With an 18, you're going to wind up with a bruise. If you want to take that bruise.
I'm going to take it.
Cool. So you're sort of, you're pulling back, trying to avoid getting into this big fisticuffs with this lady vampire, and she takes that opportunity to just grab her 2 claws and rip them up underneath your ribs, and she kind of holds you for a second and drops you back down. Marcel is going to keep waggling his tongue and jumping on Minerva. Again, he's a big claws vampire. So 25 to hit Minerva.
Yes. Hit.
So with multi-attack on a single target, I think that's probably going to be a +2 DC, so DC 25.
Okay. 22, so I'll take the bruise.
Cool. So yeah, he kind of redoubles his efforts. He pulls down on you. He starts slashing out at you. What happens to your body as he's raking his claws through you? Do you bleed?
No, there is no blood. There is just slashes, tears in what appear to be fabric and anything else. And it starts to slowly kind of change color as well for anybody that's paying enough attention, which in the middle of a fight, I'm not sure they would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Marcel looks surprised, but he does not stop his ferocious onslaught. Champion.
All right, so let's try this again. Painful slashes along the bottom of the rib cage. She's going to redouble his efforts and take another swing at this.
It's Dizzy Dane.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to spend one of them their hero points and re-roll that.
Awesome.
Because now the blood's been drawn. There's a little desperation to this here fight.
$22 will hit.
Okay, so it's a toughness save of 19.
Ooh, she takes a bruise and a daze and she rolls a 13.
Okay, and with the fast grab then, I will sort of attempt to sort of draw her into a hold.
Please do.
Okay, so with fast grab, she essentially has to roll to resist the grab? Is that right?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm going to say that is the case.
Okay.
Because you did hit her with the punch. I'm going to call it a linked effect, basically.
Okay.
That might not be the way it's supposed to be in the rules, but we're here to play the game, so let's play the game. So she will roll an opposed strength or sleight of hand check to wiggle out of your grasp. What's your strength? 4?
4. Oh.
She's just able to wiggle on out.
Yeah. So I guess underestimating her supernatural strength, he sort of starts to put her in a hold that she manages to just power out of and throw him off.
Nobody at the Olympics is a vampire. Champion.
Yeah. This is a violation of the rules, I'm sure.
So the bat swarms. The 2 bat swarms she managed to summon. One of them flies over here. And that area right there on the roof, everybody but Eleanor, I would like you guys to make a dodge save.
Dodge.
Dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
We both have 13 dodge.
Yep.
Awesome. So that is going to be a failure for you guys.
You don't have to say it like that.
I'm going to need fortitude saves for you guys versus DC 14 for your guys' fortitude saves.
Okay.
Easy
This
mode.
time it's actually fortitude. And I got a 28.
Wow, both of you
Another
guys are
nat 20.
A-okay. As these bats come in and they begin to swirl around you guys, making this high-pitched screeching noise, and the winds buffeting from their wings are just sort of almost disorienting, but you guys are able to power through to not be confused by what's going on.
Oi, cut that out.
These other bats will swoop down into the alley, and they are also going to do an area of effect, but I'm going to need a dodge save from Minerva and Champion.
Odds I feared you're going to say that.
I have a 16.
A 20.
So with a 16, Minerva, you're going to roll a toughness check against full. Champion, you're going to roll a toughness check against half. So,
And if
Minerva,
we
you
put our
need a
bruises
19.
in, it will automatically modify that?
Correct.
Correct.
If you add your injuries in to the character sheet.
Excellent.
So Minerva, you're looking for a 19. Champion, you're looking for a 17.
Is this power level such that I might resist it?
It is power level 4.
Okay, so I do not resist with my.
I think a 9 is missing the 14 by a little too much.
And I have a 23.
You know what? I'll take that, Bruce. I'll take it.
You're looking for a 17.
Or 17.
Champion. That is a bruise and a daze if you want to take that.
Yeah, you know what? What the heck? It's flavor.
Awesome.
I'll take it.
So Minerva, you are A-okay as the bats come in and they start swarming. These bats aren't trying to disorient you guys. These bats are swooping in and they're biting and clawing and scraping at both of you guys just sort of in that alleyway.
Gotcha.
Karawasi, you're up.
I am not having a good time. I hate bats. I'm going to tactfully reposition. And do I need to do anything special for the swarm of bats, or is it still considered one unit?
So because it is a swarm, you are not able to. Swarms cannot be. They're immune to direct physical attacks, but they are still affected by area attacks and energy attacks. So you are able to use your lightning on them if you want to.
Yeah, I want to chain lightning these rats.
Cool. Rude.
18.
18 is enough to hit the bats. What's a DC? 25?
25.
That swarm of bats goes away.
Thank God.
What happens?
I kind of just, do a little finger gun, and a little tiny bolt goes in the center, and it just sparks out, and they all just thunk on the ground. Some of them fall on Champion.
He can't tell though because there's a swarm of bats mobbing him right now.
Yeah. Well, these bats are nicer than the other bats. They're just plopping instead of scratching and biting.
Those are Japanese kamikaze bats.
A half beat too late. Liam just looks over. Oh, look out below!
Already drowning in bats gets more bats.
All right. So Karawasi, that's your standard action. You do have some movement if you want to move anywhere.
I don't want to show the people what's going on. I'm gonna stay on the thing.
Cool. The wolves. This wolf is going to run over here, and it's going to try and agilely feint Champion.
That's rude.
Wolves can't climb stairs. I'm so happy. Ladders.
So he goes ahead and basically the wolf is trying to use his speed to trick Champion into being vulnerable to an attack. He got a 5 on his acrobatics check, so this is going to be opposed by acrobatics or insight, whichever's better for you, Champion.
Acrobatics or insight. I'm going to go with the old acrobatics.
Cool. You're A-okay. You see the wolf coming in. It sort of lunges towards you, but you're focused on the fight with the vampire and the bats right now, and you're not really paying attention to the wolf sort of messing around in the background behind you.
Yeah.
The other wolf is going to rush forward, and it's going to try to do the same thing to Minerva. So agile feint, a 9, opposed by your acrobatics or insight, whichever's better.
I will oppose with my insight for a 30.
This is not a trick that you were falling for.
No.
Not even in the slightest.
Not even in the
Wolves keep
slightest.
trying to slam into the walls, fainting each other.
Minerva, it's your turn.
All right. I would really like to take care of Marcel if I can. So I will again attempt an unarmed strike against him. There it goes. For a 22.
22 will hit.
With a DC of 21.
Marcel takes his first bruise. What happens to him?
So Minerva kind of shifts her feet a little bit, kind of reorienting herself into a more defensive style, and jabs out rather quickly, catching Marcel across the chin. And oddly enough, it feels a lot more solid than a dainty fist might otherwise.
That registers with him, and he seems very surprised. All right, Liam. Or did you want to move? Sorry, Anthony.
There isn't a whole lot that I can do. I can move back to back with Champion to keep him from getting completely surrounded. And as I do so, I go, "Oh, I hope you're as good as fighting as I was told."
Hey, thanks. There's reputation. Great. These freaking bats.
Friggin' bats. Liam, you're up.
Liam's gonna look over the side and, hey, boyo, I'm counting on you to take care of at least one vampire. And
I'm kind of busy down here.
And I'm gonna pull out my knife and I'm gonna try to slash, try to draw some blood off the vampire in front of me.
I'm gonna knife fight the vampire.
You gotta grab his other arm, or else it doesn't count.
And that is a nat 1 for a 13.
It's not gonna hit.
I'll go ahead and burn my luck point.
Cool.
There. And then we'll roll that again. It's a 27 this time.
That's much better. So 27, you definitely lunge out and hit her. She's going to roll a toughness save versus DC 18. And she gets a 26. So you come in, you slice across her with the switchblade. It kind of hits dead flesh and it doesn't penetrate.
This is why I hate fighting vampires.
She's like, hopefully you've got a bigger weapon than that somewhere.
Liam, you've got a gun.
I'm gonna back up over here. I was told keep it discreet.
Eleanor's turn. She's going to sort of saunter over to Liam, not content to let him get away.
Bringing your problems to me.
And she's going to lash out with her claws on our boyo.
Oh, God.
Dang. So she gets a natural 20. She gets a 29 to hit. What is your parry, Liam?
My
Not
parry
29.
is a 16.
So she is 3 degrees higher than your parry. So on top of her +5 for the critical hit, she's going to get a +5 for the multi-attack. So you're looking at a DC 35 toughness save.
DC 35.
Where's your smoke monster now?
Yeah.
That's a real shiv.
Well, here we go.
Nothing to do but roll it. Oof.
Oh no!
Wow, Liam died next to me? Is that what I see?
So for those at home, Liam just rolled a natural 1 on his toughness save. I assume he's not going to keep it though. I assume he's going to spend it.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away, but mostly hero points.
Get a refund.
Demand to speak to life's manager. That's a 19, which is.
So that's good news. You actually rolled a 9 on the dice.
Yeah.
So because it's a hero point, whenever you re-roll with a hero point, if you get a 1 through 10, you get to add 10.
So it's a 29 total.
So a 29. 35 versus 29 is a lot better than 35 versus 11.
Very much so.
You're going to take a bruise and a daze. So Eleanor comes down. She swipes through. Your smoke cloud, tries its best to keep her at bay and push her back, but her claws just come in and they just connect with the top of your throat. And she kind of takes one finger and she licks the blood off the claws on the end. She's like, "Oh, you taste smoky."
That's grody.
Is he applewood or hickory?
Brings us back down to Nadine, who is going to go ahead and keep swinging on champion. 17 to hit your parry.
That will just miss.
Awesome. So she comes in, she's throwing her claws, she's raking at you. You're able to just sort of put some distance between the two of you, working with this, wild opponent. You're not used to clawing and biting and the wrestling that you've done before.
Yeah, that's definitely against the rules.
Marcel is going to follow Minerva into the back-to-back, and he's going to try and grab a hold of her. And he rolls a natural 1, so he misses.
Little too slippery there.
Brings us back around to champion.
All right, so I'm dazed with dead bats falling on my head and live bats biting in my face and a wolf and a vampire lady. So I, in desperation, will sort of throw another fist out. And grappling's what I know, so I will attempt to use the fast grab with that if I do connect, since that's a free action. Not biting into my dazed limitations. And 21 for the hit. So toughness save, and then she'll make a grab resistance roll.
Awesome. So 21 does hit. DC 19, she does have 1 bruise, so I'm going to subtract 1 from whatever I roll, because her and Marcel are using the same sheet.
Okay.
So she got an 11. She's got another bruise and a daze. So 2 bruises, 1 daze. And then she'll make a strength or sleight of hand check to get out of your grab. All right, she is hindered and vulnerable. What happens?
Okay. All right, so sort of in a panic, he throws a fist, and because it rocks her pretty hard, he throws a different hold on. And this time he seems to have her somewhat under control. I mean, she's not completely, locked up at this point, but he's got a hold on her. And I have improved hold, so she'll be -5 to attempt to escape.
Awesome. So yeah, she's sort of, you've basically got a cat in a bag right now. She's hissing and scratching, trying to get out of your hold. You've got her sort of by her nurse's uniform, holding her in place. The bats, the remaining bats, they're going to swirl around and they're going to do another area of effect. So I'm going to need a dodge save from Minerva and Champion.
Okay.
You're looking for a DC 14.
I have a 22 on my dodge save.
I have a 19.
Awesome. Both of you guys succeed on the initial dodge save. Well, please give me a fortitude save versus half. You're looking for a DC 12.
Fortitude of 20.
Fortitude 13.
So neither of you guys are disoriented as the bats move from slashing and biting and clawing at you to basically zooming around you and making a high-pitched noise as you're sort of fighting these two vampires in the alley. Your friends have just straight up left you guys down here in the alley with everybody.
Friends is a loose term.
All right, Silvervolt, you're up next.
Oh my god, Liam's bleeding. I'm gonna go over here.
You gross.
It's not vampire blood. I'm not interested.
I'm gonna just mockingly go, and I'm gonna shoot the bats. Get them out of here.
19 does hit the bats. Sorry, I should let you say what you rolled. DC 25. They roll a 7 on their toughness save, and they are dissipated. The bats are out of the fight.
Hooray.
Hooray.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and move with the rest of my movement to this corner.
Cool. So, Karawasi, I imagine you sort of jump across that area and you sort of shoot a lightning bolt down into the swarm of bats bothering Champion and Minerva. The lightning kind of crackles through all of the bats and they all drop smoking to the ground, ending the disorienting around their heads. The wolves. This wolf is going to try and trip Champion.
Rude.
Rude indeed. I have improved grab, so I'm not vulnerable while grabbing, so if that matters to your trip
Well, I
attempt.
rolled an 8 to hit, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah.
And this one is going to come up, and he's going to try and agile feint Minerva again. And get a big old 4 on his acrobatics check. So please give me an acrobatics or insight check.
I will oppose with insight because it's infinitely better. And I will get a 12.
Well, the good news is that's still enough. Both of you rolled a natural 1, but your modifier is higher.
Much higher.
So we come back around to Minerva.
All right. Marcel. Another jabbing strike.
Oof.
Nat 20 for a 30 to hit.
Wow. Yeah, that'll hit. Bam.
Vampires can be crit.
Vampires can be crit.
And the DC on that becomes 26.
Ouch. He's got 1 bruise, so I will keep track of that. I'll subtract 1 from whatever I get. I'm looking for a 26. I got a 26.
Ooh.
So, Minerva, what happens?
Solid blow straight to the solar plexus that basically just reverberates through him. Minerva just looks up and goes, her eyes kind of sparkle red real quick, and she just tries to, you can see her gritting her teeth trying to hold something back.
Ooh. Excited. Liam.
Again from the peanut gallery. Boy, I think the lady is hitting harder than you.
You're very brave from up there.
I've got my own vampire. And actually, a real question though. Minerva, do you care if I go loud?
No, but how loud?
About the volume of a typewriter.
We're dying over here and you're arguing about sounds?
And he
Do
pulls out
something!
his Tommy gun. And I'm.
We'll smooth it over later. Get rid of them.
I'll unload into the fire in front of me. Oh, the vampire.
You'll
in
unload
front
into
of me.
something.
Yeah, that is.
You shoot the crap out of the DMA building.
Yeah, they're not gonna like that. That's a 1 on the roll for a total of 13, which I do not think hits the vampire.
How many pedestrians does he kill?
He's on top of a building. There's no pedestrians up there, so I'm just going to say he hits sort of the stone concrete of the DMA building. She does see the Tommy gun come out, and her eyes kind of flicker for a second, and she does her weird ninja super speed thing to get out of the way. And she's going to try and beguiling gaze you again, Liam.
All right, here we go.
All right, you got a 28 to hit, so I need a will save.
All right, will save.
Don't worry, Liam, you got him.
It's a 15.
So with a 15, you're going to take the first degree, which is dazed. That means you get 1 standard and 1 move action next round instead of being able to do both.
Got it.
She kind of looks at you, and she locks eyes with you for a second, and you feel this sort of electricity between the two of you. And she says, it would be a lot better if you just pointed that thing down there and shot the people you came with. And you're sort of grappling with that psychic control she's trying to put on top of you.
Gotcha.
Nadine is going to... She's dazed again. She's hurting pretty bad. So she's going to try and grab you back since she's grabbed.
Yeah, she's... All right, so...
Hindered and vulnerable is what she is.
Yes. Or immobile and vulnerable.
Hindered and vulnerable. Actually, she's just going to try and bite you. She's just going to try and bite you.
That's rude.
With a 22 to hit.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
Awesome. I'm going to need a toughness save and a fortitude save.
Oh, good. 2 things I'm really good at.
DC 21 for the toughness, DC 18 for the fortitude. No.
You had to say it.
Oh.
So that's a bruise and a daze for the toughness.
Oof.
And
I didn't mean to roll twice. It wasn't coming up, so that's 7.
Cool. I thought maybe you spent a hero point on that fortitude save.
Well, you know what? Maybe I better, because that's not good. Yes.
Cool. So that becomes a 25. She bites you, and you feel some blood enter her mouth, but you don't seem to be hurt by that. No, I'm not more so than the bruise and the daze you saw.
Right.
She sucked your blood, but she didn't suck your blood.
I don't go blah, blah, blah.
Marcel's going to go ahead and take a swing again at Minerva with a 17 to hit your parry.
That will hit my parry.
Awesome. And I'm going to need a toughness save. And he swung his claws at you, not his fangs.
Okay.
Would a 15 have hit your parry?
15 would not have hit my parry, no.
Then he missed because the claws have a lesser modifier to hit.
Gotcha.
So he comes swinging in with his claws, and you're able to get out of the way. Champion, you're back up.
Kevin.
Oh, I can't. I was all busy being, godless lawyered. All right. So I already have Missy in a hold, so I can, as a standard action, which is all I'm getting this round, and it just automatically inflicts strength damage if I'm reading this correctly.
Yep, that's correct.
So I will tighten the hold, and since she likes to bite, we'll see how she likes being choked out.
She rolls a toughness save. She's got 2 bruises, so -2 to whatever this is. Your strength's 4,
Yes.
so DC 18.
Wouldn't it be 19?
19, you're correct.
Oh. Which is good, because that means another bruise.
Yeah, so 1 more bruise. What happens as you start crushing the life out of this vampire?
She's sort of, going a little frenzied as she's got a taste of blood, which sort of drives him in desperation to cinch up the hold a little harder. And so, there's cartilage crunching in her undead neck, I guess.
Okay, Silvervolt.
Well, I'm gonna try to get Liam out of there again. I'm gonna go ahead and just conjure up like a lightning spear, and I'm gonna whip it at her. At what's her face.
Cool.
So I'll do that. It'll be a taser. There we go.
So
Yeah, that's
you,
a 20. DC 20.
You launch the taser at her. Go ahead and take a hero point. Because she is immune to fortitude effects. So you launch this taser over at her. It hits her square in her chest, and she goes, and she takes the lightning and she rides on it for a little bit, and she looks at you with a dismissive smile.
I would like to laugh back. It says Will on my thing. Oh, no, it says 42. Son of a bitch. No, it's a will save. I'm collecting these damn points like Pokemon, and they're not doing anything.
You gotta spend them for them to do stuff.
Right. You can spend it to go again. Do
You
something
could
different.
spend it to use extra effort if you wanted to and go again.
Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll see it not do anything in her chest, and I'll just kind of whip my hand down like there's a string attached and bring it down on the vampire champion's holding.
Awesome.
Just
The same taser, or are you going to go with another something that does toughness?
We'll turn that into a lightning bolt.
So you yank the taser out of her, direct it to the vampire down there in the alley. Please give me a lightning bolt attack. She is vulnerable, so she's easier to hit for you. Not that you needed it with a 24. So, champion, you're doing the wrestling thing, and this lightning bolt from God comes down and strikes the vampire you're grappling with. She's got 3 bruises. Ooh, that takes her down to 25, so she is not affected.
Oh,
Man, unlucky. Well, good luck, Liam.
So you do have a move action if you want to take a move action, Silvervolt, but that's up to you.
Let's see. I've been unlucky twice. No, I'll hold where I'm at.
The wolves, the one that's down there by Champion, he's just going to try and do a straight up bite attack on Champion. 16 to hit your parry.
will not work.
Awesome. And then this one is desperately going to try an agile feint again. The 9 this time. So acrobatics or insight.
Insight once again. 28.
You are just too clever for these wolves trying to weave in between you guys in the melee that's going on. Looks like they're trying to... Looks like with a 28 insight, I'm going to say you see that they're trying to set up the vampires to have an easier time fighting with you guys.
Gotcha. And I just don't fall for wolves weaving in between. Be different if I was wearing a skirt, maybe.
Right.
The wolves are trying to prank you, but you're not falling for it.
That's right.
All right. After the wolves is Minerva.
All right. I'm still dealing with Marcel, so we're just going to keep striking away. That last one seemed to do a decent amount, or at least it would have, but he seemed to hold it back. I do not believe a 12 will hit, so I will go ahead and spend a hero point to do that again.
Perfect.
That will be a 30 to hit because it was a 10.
Yeah, that'll hit. DC 21.
DC 21.
He's got 2 bruises.
There we go.
Ooh, that's a difference of 10. So that's a bruise and a daze for
All
our
right.
vampire friend.
This time she follows up her last punch with the same move, just aiming for the exact same spot, figuring maybe it's a little bit weaker this time, and actually gets rewarded with the whoomph of whatever air the vampire may have had in his chest escaping from his lips.
Awesome. Liam, you're up.
All right, time to try another novel with my typewriter.
Huh.
It's a 21, and
That's much better.
I believe since single target with the multi-attack, that's additional bonus. I remember right?
Yes, you are. You do cover that threshold compared to her dodge, so it's a DC 21 for her.
Okay.
She hasn't been hurt yet.
No.
No, she is not.
Ugh. And still not yet.
Continues to not be.
So you, with a 27, you kind of unload with the Tommy gun, and the bullets are hitting her, and she's sort of like, yes, yes, screaming into the night sky.
This
Merui.
This is getting a little weird for me, and I'm gonna make it as
Champion's
far down the
one with
fire.
chokehold.
You were dazed, so you're not
that's
able
right.
to move.
Yeah, then I will stay right there.
Cool. And because it was an affliction, not a daze from damage, you are dazed until you shrug that off.
Gotcha.
Does he get a chance at the end of his turn to save again? Is that how that works?
Yes. So go ahead and make a will save for me.
Alrighty. 17 this time.
You are still dazed.
Womp womp.
She looks deep in your eyes and she says, "You know that's not going to work on me. Turn it on champion." She gets a 16 to hit your parry.
That does. It is a 16, so I assume that hits.
Awesome. I need one more will save, and this is a cumulative affliction. So if you resist by one effect, you will take the second effect of the affliction. And if you take 2 degrees, you'll take the 3rd degree of the affliction.
Okay.
Haha.
Oh, you are
27
A-okay.
total.
You are A-okay with the 27. So she's looking in your eyes. She's desperately trying to get you to turn on your friends or colleagues, as it may be.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And you
Mortis is in the house. I'm sure he caught that.
you're able to resist that mental effect.
Alrighty.
All right, the Thin Bloods down below. Nadine is going to take another swing with her claws against Champion.
No.
Not going to hit. And Marcel is going to take a swing with his claws against Minerva.
26 will crit. No, I'm immune to critical hits.
You are immune to critical hits. What's your parry, though?
It will hit. My parry is 16, so I still have to make the toughness save.
And it does still get the... Or no, I'm going to say because she's immune to critical hits, it doesn't get the +5 to hit. So you do get +2 damage from this.
Okay.
So
we have a toughness of 28.
You're absolutely fine. So the claws come in. He starts raking through you, spreading more of whatever your body is made of across the alley. He seems very frustrated with these events. Champion.
All right. So in the fight against unlife here, I will sort of cinch that hold a little tighter and say, "Why won't you just die again?" And she can make a toughness save.
Awesome. She's down to 3 bruises. And I'm looking for a 19.
Yes.
Get him.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's down to 7. So 19 and 7 is 12. That is a stagger. So Champion is slowly crushing the life out of this vampire. What happens?
There's sort of some creaking, like he sort of wrenches up on her arm while tightening the hold across her throat at the same time. So if undead can feel pain. Now I was dazed last time. I'm not dazed this round, correct? if I remember that correctly. All right. I will. I will fatigue to basically try and slam her down to the ground. So you want like a throw or just a?
We'll still call it an unarmed attack.
Okay.
We can actually say this is still an application of your strength.
Okay.
So you just get to apply that for free. You have to take
Okay.
the standard action, but you're doing the extra effort to do that. So
yes,
Slam him.
So now she's got 4 bruises and a stagger. So 19. Did you use any power attack or all attack or anything like that with that?
I do have those, don't I? Well, I didn't because I'm not rolling to hit.
Yeah, you're not rolling to hit.
Yeah,
you're right. Ooh. What happens to her is you slam her into the ground and
sort of
end her little vampire.
And her feet kick a little bit, and he sort of like twists the hip for a throw and slams her, and she crunches on the ground and stirs no more.
Yeah. And as she sort of fades, you slam her into the ground, and her body just begins to like bubble and boil and turn into this red viscerous goo across the ground.
That's really gross. That's really gross.
We got True Blood vampires up in here. Nobody in True Blood gets to die nicely. All right, Silvervolt, you're up.
Oh, that was pretty amazing.
Wow, that guy maybe is a champion.
Let me see here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use move object again on Liam. So much fun.
Liam can't move his own object, so
exactly. And you know what? I'll pop him right here next to me on the corner of the roof here.
What does that look like as you move him with your energy grapple?
I whip out my hands as like puppet strings, and I lift him up and I make him walk over here. And I plop him down next to me.
Awesome.
I think I'm beginning to get used to that.
Very tingly. There's a lot of electricity coursing over you, but it's sort of like when you put your hands on those orbs of electricity, so it doesn't hurt, it just tickles.
And I will use another hero point to extra effort.
Awesome.
So I'm a Zappa bitch. Or a wolf. I'm a Zappa wolf. Actually, yeah, I'm going to snap this vampire, actually. Never mind. These wolves ain't done nothing.
Is that Marcel down there?
Yeah, Marcel owes me money. He knows what he did.
I believe in you. He's got 3 bruises.
And he's going to get another one. Maybe. No.
12's not quite going to be able to hit.
Whoops, I missed.
So you launch a lightning bolt down there. Bzz, it hits the dumpster beside Marcel. Doesn't seem to quite harm him.
Stupid fog. Stupid city.
Oh, why do we live in a noir gothic metropolis? We should go somewhere where the sun shines and there's no mist and no rain. Everything's in black and white here. It's crazy. The wolves. This wolf, seeing what Champion did to poor Nadine, is going to try and agilely feint. And Champion, take a hero point.
Ooh, that's music to my ears.
I'm going to say because of the goo on the ground, you're going to get a -2 penalty to this acrobatics check.
Oh.
You don't want to step in that, ruin your shoes.
I guess I don't know how to trick the skill roll, so I guess we'll just manually do the math.
If you just click the acrobatics button. Oh yeah, we'll just take the 2 off.
Yeah, so 12. Oh, that's not good.
So you are vulnerable. And the wolf goes ahead and sets you up for Eleanor. So you are vulnerable to Eleanor up here.
Lovely.
The wolf kind of comes in. You go to do your normal, like, haha, I'm a hero, and get out of the way thing, and you sort of slide a little bit in the viscera.
That's not coming off the boots anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what I get for talking about the wolves.
Looking up as you sort of come and stagger your, you look up and you see Eleanor just sort of looking down at you from the rooftop, and she wiggles her fingers at you.
Okay, she is super creepy. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
This one is going to go ahead and take a. It's going to try and trip Minerva. 20 to hit your parry.
Will do so.
Awesome. So I believe. Let me double check trip real quick. Trip. If the attack succeeds, make an opposed check of your acrobatics or athletics against your opponent's acrobatics or athletics. Use whichever has the better bonus in each case.
All right, athletics will be mine for a 23. Oh, by 1.
Ooh, you do not go prone. What does it look like as you just barely avoid being knocked down by this wolf?
Minerva actually, it's like the wolf swirls in between her feet, and she actually reaches back and puts her hand on Champion's back and just kind of pushes off slightly to steady herself.
Awesome. Minerva, you're up.
All right, let's see if I can't take out Marcel this time. I don't believe a 14 will hit, however.
That's not quite enough to hit him in his parry.
I will go fatigued to do that again.
Cool.
22 this time.
That will hit. DC 21. He's got. Oh, I guess I only have 1 vampire left, so I can add his injuries on there.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey.
21. He rolls a 21.
But he's been. I've hit him a couple of times, so.
Yeah, I put the bruises in.
Okay. Darn.
So it would have been a 24.
Yep.
So yeah, you come in. He's still bare-chested, glistening in the sun.
Wait, what?
The moonlight. Sorry, the moonlight. Not a Twilight novel. Magician's Sin, available everywhere.
Busted.
You give him a good strike, and he's able to just roll with the punch. Do you want to
Still
move, or are you
better
happy
next
hanging
one.
out there?
His supple pecs still glistening in the moonlight. You smell the scent of a true man.
Yeah, we're still gonna stay here, kind of try to form the wall between myself and Champion.
Awesome. Liam, you're up.
Gonna move over here to get a clear shot on her, and hey, I thought I was your dance partner, and more click clacking.
You click clack, you do hit, and you get to add 2 to your DC for multi-attack.
All right.
So she'll roll a big old toughness save. She gets a 24. She just does not seem to care about that Tommy gun that Liam is unloading. Might be a good time to point out to everybody, don't forget that some of you have the ability to modify your to hits and damages using advantages. Just a good time to go through your sheet and make sure if you have power attack or accurate attack, anything like that, it could be helpful in this situation.
I hit her, but she doesn't care.
She disrespects you again.
Can I go fatigued to do all-out attack?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Do you want to add power attack too, or are you just trying to get as high to hit as you can?
I do not believe I have power attack, unless
You can do them as maneuvers, but the difference is it's capped at 2 instead of 5 if you don't have the advantage.
gotcha.
So if you did 5 points of all-out attack, you would be up 3 to hit and up 2 to your damage, but down 5 to your dodge/parry.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Honestly, with a multi-attack weapon, that's not a bad way to go.
So that's
Especially when you roll a 28.
hey.
Cool. So you got a 31 to hit, which is actually going to add 5 to your DC for multi-attack, and then 2 for your power attack. You're looking at 19 plus 7 is 26. Isn't math fun, guys? Isn't D&D just math disguised as Skyrim? So I'm looking for a 26. She gets a 22, so she takes her first bruise. What happens,
All
Liam?
right. Seeing her shrug off the bullets from the first round, he's gonna look down at the gun, and just kind of bang it a couple times on the side of the the building, and then he's just gonna plant his feet and just unload from the hip.
Perfect. Awesome. She shoots you a dirty look when she realizes that she's bleeding her own blood. But she has an advantage against poor helpless champion down there, slipping and sliding in the muck and the mud. And she's going to leap off the top of the building, land beside champion. She's going to try to come down with her claws in his clavicle.
Get your hands off my clavicle.
And you know what? Because of gravity, she's going to be using power attack. So she'll use 5 points of power attack.
Man, I'm so happy the party's down there.
She'll take the full 5 since you're vulnerable to her. Oh, bad call.
I disagree, sir. Excellent call.
So Eleanor comes down. She rolls a natural 1 to hit the poor helpless champion, and she just whiffs him as he inadvertently slips in the goo and just manages to avoid getting eviscerated from the top down.
We say inadvertently. It was all part of a greater plan.
Yes.
All
Didn't know
right.
he was a champion at figure skating as well.
Marcel is going to keep trying to take his frustration out on Minerva. With a 22 to hit this time.
22 parry, yes. What will hit?
DC 25 toughness, please.
Oof. 22, I will take that bruise.
One more bruise for Minerva. So you can tell he's wearing down a little bit. He's been slashing at you, trying to get a hold of something vital, but it doesn't seem like you have anything important inside you as far as he can tell. Champion.
Okay. It's getting a little crowded down here, but the tide does seem to be turning as well. And since Tommy guns are rattling, I'm considering stealth mode to be over.
Fair.
I am drawing the pistol, and I'm going to point over Minerva's shoulder and try and put one in the face of Marcel. See if you can find some sunlight to glisten about this, you little. 23 to hit.
23 to hit will hit.
Okay, it's a 19 for the pistol.
Blah, blah. And who are you shooting again, just real quick?
Marcel.
Marcel.
Sort of shooting past Minerva.
Awesome. He's still got 3 bruises. We're looking for a 19 for him.
Oof.
Oh,
They just seem to love eating bullets, these vampires. So
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. The gunshots ring out. Liam, up on the roof, you can see, just looking over the side, all the people who are sort of gathering around are panicking or running the other direction at this point.
I'll shout out over the rooftop. Just a dispute.
Oof.
Take a hero point, Liam. Just
Gotta get
just a little bit of a domestic here, folks. Nothing to worry about.
Pay your protection, kids.
Hirawasi, you're up.
Stay in school.
You know what? I'm gonna feel better. I'm pretty good at killing animals. I'm just gonna whip one down at that puppy right there, right next to champion with a 22 to hit.
That'll hit. Wow. Boom. That's the end of that wolf. What happens to him?
Hey, I'm feeling good. Just gonna chuck another lightning spear right through his head and just watch him pop.
Dang. Are you going to move, or are you happy hanging out there?
You know what? I'm gonna move here. Yeah, there. To threaten Minerva from above.
To threaten Minerva from above.
I'm
I
not.
mean,
I am just a threat at this angle. She
Awesome.
can't just move somewhere and get all of us. That's why Liam's over there, right, Liam?
Apologies, guys. I have to step away for just a hot second to go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
okay.
Run the ads. Closed captioning brought to you by.
No one.
That's right. We will not close caption our own stuff. So if you would like to volunteer, please leave comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to make this podcast available in all languages.
I can cover English, only English.
I can cover Spanish, but it's going to be some ghetto Spanish.
Klaatu Barada. There, I said it. I said the magic words. I'm not sure what language it is, but it's always good to work in Army of Darkness when you can.
So guys, do you want to kill the other vampires and then let Champion grab Minerva and then we can mark, not Minerva. Oh, what's her name again?
Eleanor.
Yeah. Let Champion grab Eleanor and we can mark her. Right on camera.
The GM would definitely notice if we erased a bad guy or two.
Ooh, bad timing.
We're just prioritizing our people and how we want to do enhanced interrogation.
Oh yeah. So this wolf is going to go ahead and try desperately to do what it came here to do: agilely feint Minerva.
Then it's
Hey,
been-
Oh my god.
All right, let's try the insight check once more. 27.
That was the best try you've ever seen a dog do, to just sort of quietly get in the way of you, and you're like, stop it.
It's like, I don't have a treat for you. Go away.
You saw it
Dog.
stand up on its hind paws and just
Just beg.
Just go away.
All right. After the wolf is Minerva.
All right. God, I really want Marcel gone. 18 to hit.
18 will hit Marcel.
All right, that is a 21 toughness save.
He's still rocking 3 bruises.
There we go.
That's going to be another bruise.
there you go.
So he's up to 4 bruises. What happens? How are you wailing on him? Keeping going on him?
Continuing to. Those solar plexes are just out there for the world, and if he's not going to cover them, well, then they're just going to get beat on.
Always protect your solar plexus, kid. That's today PSA.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to move, or are you happy hanging out there back to back with Champion still?
Still trying to keep him from. I mean, it's a little bit clearer now, but I don't want anything stepping in and flanking him.
Liam, you're up.
Seeing a vampire go down and the battle is kind of shifting, and he got a shot in last time. He's got a little more pep in his step and does a little twirl and starts whistling. And it's gonna plant his feet and power shot and let me find the right name. Accurate attack. Or sorry,
All out attack or
all
accurate
attack.
attack?
All attack.
Cool.
And
Awesome. So with all out attack, that does go up to a 19,
all right.
which is actually enough to hit her dodge. It's not enough to trigger your multi-attack, but you do get to add 2 DC for the power attack. So 21's what we're looking at. She eats lead every morning. She's fine.
Wow.
Her favorite breakfast cereal is a bowl of brass shell casings mixed with battery acid.
Just gonna check the drum to make sure it's not painted red or anything, like marked not for vampires or something. And
Am I shooting blanks with this? What is happening?
Happens to men your age. It's okay.
She rolled a 24 against
Yes.
the 21.
Yeah, so she's not hurt. That brings us back around to Eleanor, who's going to keep trying to get her hands on Champion. With a 21 to hit you this time.
Yes. So much for being vulnerable or being unvulnerable. I can't say that right. Anyway, she was clawing.
Yep, she's clawing.
All right, so toughness.
DC 30.
30? That seems untoward.
Hmm.
Did I get another hero point? Let me look. What do I got? Yes, I got another. So I'm going to spend that hero point because 16 versus 30. That's not pretty at all.
Oh, that's real bad. That's real bad.
Okay.
It's a stagger. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but.
Okay. Oh God. Well, that becomes a
17.
17. So it was one better. Hero point well spent.
So with the 17, that is going to be a 13 point separation, which means you're going to take a bruise and a stagger. So she takes those bullets from Liam and she redoubles her efforts on you. And she comes in, she feints one way, and you sort of go to instinctually block that way, and she just gets a good slash right across your throat. And you are bleeding profusely from the neck. And she takes a drink of your blood, and she says, not as good as the guy up there.
And yet, here you are.
Gurgle.
Sampled
Gurgle.
you yet. All right, Marcel's going to go ahead, and he's going to try and bite Minerva. With a 19 to hit your parry.
Yep.
Are you immune to fortitude effects, or just you have life support?
I have life support.
Okay, so I'm going to need a fortitude save from you as well.
Yes. So the toughness save is 20, so that will be a bruise.
Yep.
The fortitude save is a 19.
You're A-okay.
Okay.
So he bites down on you, and he begins sucking, and he sort of spits as big chunks of clay fill his mouth.
Yep.
Champion.
Whew. All right. It's getting ugly down here. I'm going to fire past Minerva again, this time using the power attack advantage that I have and trying to mitigate some of the penalty by using the all-out attack maneuver to sort of try and offset some of the attack penalty. And I'll try and give him a face full of lead. Okay, so that's the 19 to hit. And that makes it a DC 24. So I put the stuff in on my character sheet, so that should have adjusted the attack roll in the
Yes, it did.
DC.
So a 19 will hit. DC 24 against her. She's got one bruise.
Nope, it's against Marcel.
No, against Marcel.
Oh, he's got a lot more than one bruise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to clear the field before you go down, huh, champion?
That's right.
All right, that's going to be a bruise and a daze for Marcel. So he's up to 5 bruises. So you're sort of holding the bleeding wound in your neck and popping off shots over there at Marcel, who is still spitting out clay from his mouth. All right, nice. Silver Volt.
Oh, wow. I got another friend bleeding out. I'm just going to move object, pick him up, chuck him up on Liam's roof.
Are you resisting, champion?
Actually, yes, because that would leave Minerva down here by herself.
I will give you a hero point for your heroism. Silver Volt. I'm going to need you to make an opposed move object check opposed by champion strength. So champion, I need a strength check. Silver Volt, I need a move object check.
Wow, 7. That's great.
I believe your move object is 8. Is that right?
I am trying to find that specifically on my sheet.
Oh, it's a 10 actually. So actually on your first page, I put an area for opposed energy grapple. If you just click on that, it'll roll a d20 plus 10.
Oh no.
Even if you roll a 1, you can't.
Oh, there it is. Energy grapple.
You
Gotcha.
cannot lose.
There we go.
Oh, Will, thank you so much for coming here and following us tonight. It's good to see you.
I grabbed them. I whipped them.
No!
Yeah.
I'm kind of yelling and struggling against the effect as I'm being hauled up and plopped on the roof next to Liam?
Not plop, but like a soft chuck.
Oh, well, I feel so much better.
Don't hit your head, boy.
Right. Do you want to move, Karawasi, or are you happy hanging out there?
Yeah, I'm gonna move right here.
On top of the dumpster?
I'm gonna be flying above the dumpster,
Fair.
but on that wall.
Cool. The wolf who is still here making a nuisance of himself is going to try and agilely feint Minerva one more time.
There's that 22 again.
Hey, we're climbing up. We're climbing up.
Hey! There it goes.
Oh, no.
13.
Hey,
Yep.
It was between Champion and the Wolf, so like.
Wile E. Coyote finally caught the Roadrunner. You are vulnerable to Marcel's next attack.
Yep. All right. Well,
He might not get a next attack. It's up to
Yeah.
you. Minerva. It's your turn.
I'm trying to take Marcel down so that he doesn't. 23 to hit.
23 will definitely hit. He's got 5 bruises. DC 21. Let's see what happens. Wow. I never rolled this well in person, so thank you, Roll20, for the random number generator. That's one more bruise.
Yeah.
How are you taking it out on him?
I'm gonna just.
I don't. It's just a lot of blows to the solar plex, trying to keep jabbing away. At this point, I think she is actually going to kind of lose a little bit of her cool, and I'm going to spend a hero point for ultimate effort to do intimidate against him, as my form shifts into that of the actual golem that I'm inhabiting.
What the?
Perfect. So
Your
that gives
sister
you...
can't do that, can she?
She didn't do it while we were together. So, with an ultimate effort, since you spent the hero point for intimidation, that means you have 20 plus your intimidation modifier, which believe
is 4.
So you got a 24.
Yep.
It's resisted by his intimidation or his insight, whichever is higher. It happens to be intimidation for Marcel.
They're the same.
So he's taken aback for a second, but he's not fleeing from you.
Gotcha.
As you take on this full... What does your golem form look like as you?
It's very clay. It's the body is very nondescript. It's the head is not more than just a lump with 2 recesses for the eyes and a gaping maw. There is a symbol etched into the center of it that kind of looks like 2 points of flame going in opposite directions, but there is a red energy that courses through that area.
Awesome. Cool. So you're big and scary now. Liam, you're up.
I don't think she needed you down there at any point, Boyo.
I didn't know she was wearing that much makeup.
I'm still an author, and I think it's time to pound out my next book. Same thing. All out attack and power attack. With the Tommy gun. So
Excuse me. Sorry.
Those good rolls.
Ooh,
That's a
good
28.
roll. So that's going to give you a +5 for your multi-attack and +2 for your power attack. We're looking at 19 + 5 is 26, +2 is 28. Wow.
No, 19 + 5 is 24, +2 is 26.
All
Sorry,
right.
Alex.
Sorry.
That's a Texas Roadhouse roll right there.
I was an English dropout, not a math dropout.
Common Core Math to the rescue.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. 20. What is it? 26? 26.
26.
She got a 27.
Oh my god.
If you guys had let me keep my 28, should have got a bruise.
Oh man.
So, Liam, you open fire on her again, still rattling out more novels with the Chicago typewriter. And she looks up at both of you up there. She says, okay, if you both want my attention, I'll give it to both of you.
Oh, I guess Champion just gets to die later, huh?
Not much later.
Do you want to move, Liam, or are you happy hanging out there?
I'll stay here. Make her do some work to. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna matter.
Throw the body over the railing, distract her.
So on Eleanor's turn, she comes up to this wall and she skitters up the side of the wall like a spider monkey. And she whips around to the front of you guys, and she's going to use her multi-attack on her claws to attack both of you.
This makes me sad.
So no power attack this time, but she will get a -2 to hit because she's using multi-attack on multiple targets. So just subtract 2 from whatever I roll here.
Hey.
Don't even need to worry about it. So how did both of you get out of the way of her coming down here basically to finish?
I think I slipped on my own blood and sort of fell as she swiped with the claws.
I'm just gonna stand there and let the smoke handle it.
Cool. The smoke sort of pulls her hand just out of the way. And she looks irritated. Marcel, barely clinging to life, is going to launch himself at the golem. He's not going to bite the golem because he doesn't think there's any benefit in it for him. And he misses.
He does.
He rolls a 9, comes in, just whiffs. Champion, you're up.
Power attack advantage, all-out attack maneuver, and hopefully feed her some lead that she won't be able to digest.
Ooh.
Ah!
I'm spending that last hero point to reroll that, because no.
These natural ones are killing us.
For real.
Alex rigged the engine. He knows what he did to us.
Oh.
That becomes a 21, because that's a reroll.
21 will hit.
All right, so DC 24.
Ooh, she takes a bruise and a daze. What happens?
She lashed out with her claws, and while she's busy being dismayed, Champion puts his pistol, I don't know, right in her face, and I don't know, she was a little cheek on that one. Who knows?
Awesome. So yeah, you hit her right in the face, and it blows out a hole out the side of her cheek, and she looks at you. She looks at you like you just called her a really bad name.
I would if I could talk.
Silverbolt, you're up.
I am gonna go and I'm gonna try to kill this vamp here in front of me. Try my hardest, my gosh darndest.
You mean finally?
Hey, you know what? We're all doing a part.
We're all doing the best we can here.
Yep, I'm just gonna open my palm up, open Gauntlet, blast him, and that's a 15.
15 will hit him.
DC 25.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Nope, not so much.
So one more bruise for Marcel.
Good. Toughness check of 20.
He's up to 7 bruises, guys.
Well,
Why won't you just die again?
How many does he need to not be here?
He's got to miss by more than 5 from your guys' attacks. You can spend a hero point to do extra effort and go again if you want.
You know what? I like that. Sign me up for another round. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
25.
All right.
Well, that knocks him down to 8 bruises and another daze.
That's an 18 on his toughness check.
Yeah, with an 18, he goes down to another bruise and a daze with 8 bruises. Man. So Silverbolt, what happens in the alley as you're sort of raining lightning down on these guys?
I'm getting very frustrated that vampires don't die easily. Blasted him once, was disappointed. Thought about blasting the wolf just to make myself feel better again. Then blasted him again. Just furious bolts, just as hard as I can.
Perfect. So the wolf is going to go ahead and bite at Minerva.
Am I still able to move?
Yeah, you can move.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna flank this girl. Actually, I'm gonna flank right here, so she has to, step off the roof.
Awesome. So 18 to hit Minerva with the wolf.
That'll hit my parry, yes.
Also, give me a toughness save. DC 19.
Okay. Get a 15, so it's another bruise.
More bruise than man. Somebody said about Marcel. Yeah, so 15 is a bruise. As the wolf kind of lurches in, it gets a big hold of the clay in your lower calf, and sort of shakes, trying to move some of the material off of you. Minerva.
All right, we'll swing a large clay hand and try to take a really large backswing through Marcel. That is a 25 to hit.
That will definitely hit. He's up to 8 bruises.
DC 21. There we go.
11. Okay, so one more bruise, one more daze.
Yeah.
Oh, the cameras moved people? Oh, yeah, they did. We shuffled. I'm Kevin now.
I
That
lost
means you
connection.
take my damage. All right.
I lost connection there briefly.
Now I'm Andy.
All right. It is hard being a vampire out here. Okay.
Somebody pipe Mr. Guesswork down. TPK time? I don't think so. They're rooting for the vampires, guys. This isn't good.
Minerva, are you happy with that being the end of your turn, or do you want to do any extra effort or anything like that?
I've already gone fatigued, so
I got it. Hero points.
I have one left, and I don't. You know what? Let's do it. Let's spend it and smack Marcel one more time. And hope this 19.
19, perfect. That'll hit. Now, there's not a way for me to go to negative in toughness, so just subtract 1 from whatever I roll here.
I think that does it.
So subtracting 1, I rolled a 2, everybody. How do you want to take Marcel
out? So the backhand kind of staggers him back, and both of her large clay hands just kind of reach up above her head, grasp fingers together, and she just slams them down, crunching his head through the rest of his body as she compacts him.
And he just, as his head goes down into his central column, he just dissipates into red viscera and gore on the ground.
Watch out. That could be slippery.
Wow. Good job. All right, that brings us back around to Liam.
Seeing Champion have some more success with putting the gun on the vampire, he's gonna try that himself, and
it's a good technique.
Just go for the power attack and the all-out attack.
Awesome.
Doesn't seem to matter with the vampire. She's gonna hit me anyways.
Yeah.
Single tier. And there we go.
Oh,
Lord. It's a 29.
29. No less.
29 to hit. Jiminy Christmas.
Jam that thing in her mouth?
So
might as well.
If you full power attacked and that got the multi-attack bonus that I think it did, that's like a DC 29 right there. Ka-ching.
Do you have multi-attack all the way, or do you not have it as an advantage?
He just has the maneuver, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So a mere +7 then.
Instead of +10, that's a +7. So 26?
Yep.
Is that math right? Cool. Oh, she takes another bruise.
Oh my god.
So you basically stick it in her mouth, and bullets start emerging from the back of her head. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Liam?
I think I have a hero point left. So can I just extra effort to just do that again without the
Yeah,
hero
you sure
point?
can. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
You'll go fatigued if you haven't already gone fatigued,
I have not.
which
Or
means that
wait,
you'll move at half your regular movement speed. So instead of 30 feet around, you'll move 15 feet around.
fatigue stays. It doesn't refresh per round.
Not per
Correct.
round, though.
You got to
Okay.
rest. But you're right
Okay.
with that.
Still better than my last dental exam.
Then I will definitely spend the hero point to do that, and we'll do a repeat and hope she rolls less than what she did. That's a 16 on the roll.
That is enough to hit her. It's not going to give you a multi-attack bonus, but you do get the +2 for your power attack, so 21.
All right.
There it goes.
Better.
It's a bruise and a daze for her.
Whew.
All righty. What was
So
the
what
roll?
is this? What does this follow-up look like? She got a 14 on her attack, so she goes 21 to 14. It's a 7-point difference. Bruise and a daze.
All right, and he's just gonna wriggle that gun around like he's brushing her teeth. Just get in there.
Somebody needs to clip the Tommy gun toothbrush. Whoever's in charge of clipping.
And hopefully by the end of it, she doesn't have any teeth left.
Bunch of vampire fangs just rattle and hit the ground, bouncing all over the place. After Liam, she is actually going to. Her form begins to shift and move, and she slowly dissipates into a fog cloud, and she disperses into the mist of Titan City. And that will take us out of combat.
Then I will slump to the roof and bleed some more.
What a cheat. I don't know. I'm coming over here. Hey, champion, guess what? I'm a doctor.
I'm feeling a little woozy right now.
Ah, you're fine. I kind of light up like the tip of my finger and I shine it in his eyes.
Are you rolling a treatment check?
I'm a doctor. Where's my medicine?
Not that kind of doctor.
I mean, I have a doctorate.
You can make a treatment check if you want, or you can do something called a power stunt, where you can basically convert the energy of your lightning into being some kind of healing power effect, if that's something you want to do. It just costs extra effort, which would give you fatigue.
Oh, I'm out of money, so I'm gonna have.
It
to
doesn't.
roll
You
that
don't need to
treatment.
spend a hero point on it. You could just go extra effort and take the fatigue.
Oh yeah, this is fun. I'll go ahead and defibrillate him.
Awesome. So, your lightning is ranked 10. So go ahead and roll a d20 plus 10 for me. And every degree of success above 10 is going to be something that champion is able to heal.
Am I okay? There we go. 17.
Awesome. So champion, that will heal your stagger and one of your bruises.
Oh, that was wow. The silver volt, is it?
Yep.
Thanks. That's a nifty gift you got there.
You know what? We all try our best. And I'm gonna jump down and get me some vampire samples for the labs.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and change maps again because we're going to sort of pull back from sort of the on the grid combat to more theater of the mind. So I'll pull over to this map of Titan City just to give you guys an idea of where they are in town and where they've been.
Minerva is going to be standing there, and you can kind of the clay is kind of trying to shift and exert a more petite and feminine form. So I will make my intelligence roll for that. I don't think we ever decided on a DC, but I believe an 18 should be enough to get me back to
back to Minerva proper. Minerva Prime.
Yep. Minerva Prime. She's just she's shaking visibly. once she manages to reassert herself.
Yeah, so you guys find yourself standing basically in this alleyway, fresh from the fight with the vampires. The wolf disappeared when Minerva disappeared. It sort of
When
vanished into
Eleanor?
the mist. When Eleanor disappeared. Sorry. Minerva reappeared, Eleanor disappeared.
Yep.
You guys do hear footsteps approaching you, though.
Huh. I don't know if fresh from the fight is a good descriptor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my samples away and pretend I'm not doing that.
Looking at the end of the alley, you can see that a DMA agent is approaching you guys, evident from the small bronze pin with the stylized Art Deco letters DMA on his lapel. There's also the fact that he looks like a narc, from the overeager, wholesome gleam in his eye to the clearly rehearsed confidence in his posture. He looks at the carnage around you and nods while letting out a quiet sigh.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you guys were around.
Yes, it was.
Hi, I'm Agent Lyle Owens. He comes up to shake somebody's hand, whoever's willing to offer one.
I'll offer a handshake.
He says, it's nice to meet a group of humans so willing to jump in and keep our community safe. You know, we're doing the best we can to help the extra normal members of our society, but every now and then you run into a couple of bad eggs like these vamps. I can't imagine what would happen if you guys hadn't showed up.
Did you just see the entire fight and not even step in to help? She says in definitely more pained tones than she might otherwise put on.
Oh, help. Us DMA agents, we're not equipped with weapons or anything. I'm a social worker.
Yeah, Minerva, lay off the Boy Scout.
You know, if you wanted me to file, a report after the fact, I definitely am going to have to do that anyway. But that's not important.
Actually,
Right.
how about you pull a file instead?
Oh, you need me to pull one of our files?
Yeah, that would be very nice. We'll call it even.
That's awesome.
I'm going to pull out the notepad that I wrote down what Mr. Powers was saying, and then just hand him the name of Florian. No, not Florian. What was her
Serena.
name?
Serena.
Serena. Yep. He says,
Actually,
yeah.
all three of them.
He takes all three names and he says, I will go. I'll see what I can dig up on them. I'll be right back. You guys just hang out here.
Minerva's going to sigh and start looking over the alley for signs of a fight or struggle that happened before our fight and struggle.
Yeah, for sure. So Agent Owens goes back around the corner. If you guys will go ahead and give me investigation checks.
Minerva has a 14 on investigation.
Champion has an 8. I keep finding my own blood and nothing else.
I got a 16.
It does have a distractingly red color. 13 for Liam.
Awesome. Silver Volt, as all of you are sort of breaking the scene down, looking around, Silver Volt, you were the only person who notices a couple of things, and you could bring them to the attention of the group. You notice that there was obviously a fight in this alley other than your own recently within the last couple of hours. You find a couple of bullet holes in the bricks along here, a few dried blood stains, including some blood that is flecked with golden specks. Behind the dumpster, you find the shattered leaf-shaped blade of a short sword. It's doubled edge and made of some brilliant metal. Even in the shadows of the alley, you can see what looks like stars dancing along the steel. The pommel's nowhere to be found. You also notice, sort of pressed into the pavement around here, in the cracks between sort of where the pavement's supposed to meet, you see a fine white powder that looks like it's been crushed into the cracks, probably by footsteps is what it looks like to you. And at the end of the fire escape, at the far end of the alley, in the drainage gutter, you see a small pewter bracelet. It has 2 letters inscribed on its surface, SW, And on the opposite side, you see an address, 145 East Town Street, Titan City, Massachusetts.
Okay. So while they're busy looking around, I'm gonna go ahead and pocket the bracelet and go ahead and share with them the rest of the information. And I want to pull samples of the golden specks. And is that white powder the same that I brought to Jupiter Labs earlier?
You'll have to run a test on it, but it looks consistent with that powder. Please give me a sleight of hand check to pocket the bracelet without anyone noticing. I'll give you a +2 because everybody's conducting an investigation throughout the alley.
Where are you? Oh no. Oh, that's not bad. That's 19.
Awesome. With the 19, what is everybody's routine perception? So 10 plus their perception modifier.
Routine perception for me is a 16.
Routine perception for me is a 20.
So perception modifier is the ability on the character sheet?
It's in your skills.
Okay.
It should be stats and skills.
Sorry. I'm failing to read again.
Total perception.
Okay. That's 12. And then add 10 to that, or?
Yep.
Okay, 22.
So both Minerva and Liam, you see Karawasi pocket something over there by the fire escape.
Did you find something?
Yeah, more samples, more evidence. I got us an address. I got us a pommel of a short sword.
The blade of the short sword, not the pommel.
I got a blade of a short sword.
Do I recognize the short sword, or at least the design?
Give me one of your relevant expertises. Let me look at your expertises.
None of my expertises are relevant. I was thinking from an experience point of view.
Yeah.
Backstory.
Yeah, from your backstory, since you happen to work with these people, you do recognize that short sword as belonging to an Amazon, you would suspect. It is a type of blade that you have known the Amazons to use in their day-to-day travel throughout the city.
Okay.
Do I recognize the blood along the walls?
Give me an expertise monster check.
All right.
Lick it, Liam. Get a sense of what it is.
I'll do it too.
Wow.
It's a 27.
Oh, with a 27, you do know that Amazons bleed gold-flecked blood.
Gotcha.
That's the only blood that sort of stands out. The rest of the blood in this alley appears to be human. Some of it appears to be champions.
Some.
At
Decent
least
amount.
5%.
But we don't see, I guess it's probably hard to tell, but we don't see anything that would be consistent with like a vampire fighting.
You don't see anything that suggests a vampire fought here.
Interesting.
Can I?
Other than, the swarm of dead bats, shocked at the bottom of the alley.
Yeah.
Do we know how old the blood is by looking at it, or can I roll for that?
Yeah, give me a secondary expertise check, or a investigation check, Lala.
A la 16.
Yeah, you think that this blood has probably been here a couple of hours. You wouldn't, without taking like a genetic or a temperature sample of it, it's hard to tell, but you think within the last 2 to 4 hours, this blood was spilled.
Okay, so it's safe to assume this is the newest victim.
So we have bullet holes, we have an Amazonian sword, and we have the bracelet of someone with an address on it.
Yep. And the initials on the bracelet say SW.
Which is most likely Serena. And would I know her location? Would I know her where she stays?
She mostly came to interact with you at Club Tartarus. Vampires are sort of persnickety when it comes to sharing where they sleep.
Okay, makes sense.
Besides, the Boy Scout is getting us her info. They're registered.
True.
Yeah,
I don't
sorry,
believe.
go ahead, River.
As I say, I don't believe the Amazons actually are out hunting monsters unless they're actually doing something against what the Amazons want. We could go check in with them. We can go check Serena's place, see if we can find any clues there. She takes a long sigh, trying to basically, you feel like she's trying to recenter herself.
You
Now,
okay there? You got a little.
Let's. Can we not talk about it now? It's hard enough concentrating with everything going on right now. I don't need to lose control again.
Fair enough.
Now, Liam, the Boy Scout looked like a narc. This is supposed to be discreet. Are you taking care of him, or what's our plan?
Oh well.
I'll let me take care of him.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this a situation where contacts would come in, Alex?
It could be. You could request a favor from one of your contacts if you had a favor in mind that you were trying to request.
We need it.
Mostly just if the Kelly gang has any folks inside the the DMA.
Yeah, the
DMA.
To basically, the request would be to keep our names out of any incident paperwork.
Yeah, definitely. So with that contacts check, I need you to roll a persuasion check.
Gotcha. Persuasion. I am not terribly persuasive. Except when I am. 23!
Except when you are. 23 for the not persuasive Liam Slane. You get a call out to some of your contacts in the Kelly gang, and sure enough, you're pretty sure they're going to be able to keep your name out of this situation.
Being a criminal has its upsides sometimes.
Sometimes. After a couple of minutes, Agent Owens does return from inside the DMA, and he's got a couple of manila folders with him. He says, I haven't seen these people for the regular checkups in a couple of weeks now, so I was planning on going down to both of their houses tomorrow to perform a check-in. I'm there. Oddly enough, I'm both of these people's agent liaison. Also, if you guys hate vampires as much as it looks like, I just wanted to let you guys know my congregation's having a meeting in a couple of days. You guys should join us. It's going to be a wicked good time. And he hands you all a flyer.
Which congregation is on the flyer?
The congregation on the flyer is the Children of Adam. The flyer looks like this. Sort of a rising sun with a nice Art Deco font that says, join us for a sun salutation hosted by the Children of Adam. Sunday, the 9th of July, gathering begins at 4:30. Clam bake to follow festivities. Please bring your favorite side dish to share.
Wait, out of character. Sun salutations like yoga?
Not like yoga. Just okay. Sort of a praise the sun, like a Dark Souls thing.
Okay.
Is Kool-Aid invented yet? Do we have to worry about it?
No. Minerva's going to take the piece of paper and kind of crumple it slightly in her hands. Behind her back, she's going to put it behind her back and kind of just crumple it into a ball.
We'll be at the Founders Church in the Parkhurst district in a couple of days. It's going to be a real swell time.
I am going to go ahead and walk up to Boy Scout and take the folders. And I am going to hand him a Jupiter Corporation card. Doesn't have my contact information, just has a number.
Thank you. Yeah, if you guys don't mind checking in on this, I'll be stopping by their houses tomorrow early afternoon.
And when was the last time that you spoke to either of these two?
Well, I spoke to Serena, I would have to say, about 4 weeks ago. And Mr. Wolfhard, I spoke to him about 7 weeks ago.
Monthly checkups then.
Yes, generally. Unless we feel like they're a problem client, in which case we have to check on them a couple more times. Depends on their track record and the threat they pose to humans, naturally speaking. But I hope you're able to help me help our community as quickly as possible. And he gives you sort of this cheesy, big open smile, and he will head on back into the DMA. And that's actually where we're going to end our first episode of the Titan City Chronicles, The Lost and Forgotten.
Nice.
Excellent.
Episode 1, titled?
Episode 1 is titled Blood Hunt, or Blood Drive, sorry, Blood Drive. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for our first ever stream from Untold Story Project. It's very exciting having a chance to finally be out here in front of everybody. Please make sure you guys head over to greenronin.com to pick up your own copy of Mutants and Masterminds. They're on sale right now, and $10 of every sale of the Basic Heroes Handbook goes to support Black Lives Matter. So it's a great time to pick up Mutants and Masterminds if you want to learn to make your own superhero stories. And we will be here next week. Same time, same place. We're going to pick up with our poor, unfortunate souls as they continue their investigation for the lost and the forgotten.